Can I just zoom in? No, I can't. Okay, that's maybe I can just like lower this guy just a little bit.
Hang on, everybody. It's live and national. Here we go. Same thing here. We got some. Is this in your way?
No, not at all. Yeah.
And then we can adjust this here. Make sure we got everybody.
Nice. And I have almost the exact same frame. It's just a little bit different. So.
Right.
And then yeah, if we can just kind of pull up my Twitch just so I can see if anybody from my chat sneaks in. So yeah, you guys were showing me some of this the other day, and this looks freaking awesome.
I was really impressed. This is like a true metal foil sticker. Like it's a very thin.
So this is what I was telling you about with the brass etch.
Oh,
that's what this stuff is. It's super fine. It's not always brass etch. Sometimes it's also just like, you know, they can just punch some of this stuff out depending on how it's done. But I mean, either way, yeah, it looks so good. And like the use of the actual wires is always super cool. Like this is just unreal, like articulation. Like Bandai just does not miss.
Yeah, and no, like the plating, I thought there would be a little bit more metal in the kit, and there's plenty to be found for sure. But these are plated plastic, and they actuate so smooth.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
yeah, it's crazy.
Man,
it's crazy.
So,
let's see.
And then this, of course, is the calf thruster.
Right.
And I mean, it's going to be so cool. Just a lot of articulation here in the leg pieces. We're going to get full range of motion. We've got essentially a double knee setup, so that we can end up with the unit will actually be able to take a crouch and support itself without being funky. It's going to be a very close mimic to our anatomy when it's all said and done.
Yeah, I've seen some like. We can scale this, can't we?
Yeah, you should be able to.
It's weird that it's not wanting to do it sideways.
Here, let me grab a hold of that from you.
See what I mean?
Yeah. OBS has made some updates recently, and they're really kind of being bratty, I think.
Yeah, I guess so.
And then what we do there is we can come
maybe
over.
We just move mine over to the left side so you can still see the stream.
I can't put it on the bottom. Where'd it go?
No, yeah. if we could put it on the side, that'd be great.
Well, if I can put it up on this side.
Other side.
Well, then that's.
Oh, is that your chat?
Yeah, that's YouTube chat, and then this would be.
Cool. I didn't
there,
know. For some reason, I thought it was over there.
Ciao.
And then, yeah, we just need to.
That's probably not it, right?
No, there's no space though. Also.
Yeah, we gotta get that fixed up. Oh no, it drooped.
That's okay.
It's like a Yoshi that needs to get his.
Yeah, I figured we'd have some of this. I think we just need this to be a little more snug. That's probably fine.
Alright, yeah. We are we're dealing with a bit of an arrangement there.
There we go. That's perfect.
I want to say thank you to everybody. Of course, filming on location, it's not always a controlled environment. It's a little bit different from your painting table.
What's up, Aspire?
Or my studio. So.
And then we just gotta. We'll get an infinite loop real fast.
Oh yeah. Let's get to. Boom. There you go.
No, they're like my stream at least is very used to me assembling stuff. Right. A lot of it was when I was like still painting full time, and I would just be working on commissions, and so I'd just be cleaning and assembling and painting, and I mean they were seeing the full process and just hanging out. So
I do want to point out, like particularly on the YouTube side, the stuff that we want to show off, we want to be on the playmat, and then anything that ends up sort of like in front of you is going to be a little bit off camera. Now yours is a little different.
Yes.
But we still want to kind of be forward just because we're dealing with a bit of a narrow angle on that camera. Same for yours, so that's all good.
Yeah, I've seen some of this. So I'm going to leave some of this alone just so that I can go over it with Josh if he comes.
Right.
Because I definitely want to give him some feedback.
But and there's like some areas in here I needed to clean up. So like they end up being like blind pockets.
Yeah, and some of this is like we talked about this a little bit even before we started that. Like there's a couple of different like modes of doing this. Sometimes you just kind of want to get everything cut and kind of roughed in.
This is the one that still has a fitment issue because we got a nub done in there.
Yep, and like it's so sneaky because some of this stuff like like you won't see it until it's just kind of pushing stuff out, and when you get it cleaned and put back together and it's like actually like snug, it really gives you a great idea of.
For everybody that hasn't seen this yet, this is just the leg portion here. This is going to be the calf, and so we've got it where it'll slide in and out. Of course, it's got full rotation. Then we've got additional rotation here. So, I mean, just a ton of actuation in this single part. Then this heat shield also actuates and locks into place. And then beyond that, we're going to see a piece of leg armor go over the top of it. So we're going to have a couple pieces actually layered and moving. Just blown away. Aside from the RX93 being cool and dealing with a Perfect Grade Unleashed, this is a whole new monster put together for the 45th anniversary of Gunpla, and Bandai really stepped it up. They gave us an incredible kit here.
Yeah, I know there were some concerns or worries there for a little while around what am I thinking? Like the weight of it, because people saw how large and like with the
fin funnels in particular.
The funnels, and like it seems like they did a pretty good job at addressing that and addressing concerns. And
there's enough like skeletalization in some of these parts that, particularly when we're layered through, it allows me to see the part beneath, so I get a great bit of extra detail.
Mm-hmm.
But it also I can see where there were. Working to address some of those maybe weight concerns or balance concerns for the total model.
Right. There we go. Nice.
Trying to disassociate. All these parts fit really great.
They do fit really great.
Like
this is where loose fitting is very, very important.
And the time that you spend on that prep before you commit to setting something in place, you go, okay, does that meet my standards? Is that something that I can be happy with? Is that going to actually fit together in that space as well?
Yeah, and we got a little bit of a bend here, and so this is something that's very addressable.
Separated these parts a little bit for you here, Anthony, to clean up around in that seam. So.
Yeah. Anything around seams, especially, is like.
For the most part, the way we started working, I was doing parts clipping and cleanup, and I let the fun part, the assembly, to Josh, so that way we could kind of move effectively through the build, because there's a lot here. But
there's a lot, yeah.
Let's get some things here.
Something too that I've learned with these Gunpla kits is like you kind of have to be careful about what's actually like release and what's detail.
Yeah, it's
like, so like this could be just like it. With other kits, that would almost look like error, but that's actually intentional.
Yeah, because some of these components, they're meant to have a bit of that separation to them. It's part of the details. It's a feature, not a bug, as it were.
Right.
So you definitely can be overzealous when it comes to clipping. I like to clip away from the part and then go back and clean up, but this is because I've made those mistakes in the past where you clip a critical connection point and you go, oh man, and I haven't got a lot of experience, so doing the repairs and things like that was kind of outside my wheelhouse, and I was always wanted to be very careful with it.
Yep. Yeah, and you do want to be careful. This is where like dry fitting as much as possible. Like, so there's like where you're not doing full dry fitting.
Yeah.
Can really help with complex assemblies because then you kind of know like what is touching and where. And some things you can kind of clean up. You know, like I'm kind of doing a little bit of like a cleaning, and I know where my like margin is for error.
Oh, right.
Because if I dig in between these two pieces, I'm essentially scribing. Whereas if I'm, trying to do it on a piece that doesn't have anything, then, I'm creating like an imperfection. So that's.
For fans out there, be sure to let us know what your favorite Gundam show is. Maybe your favorite Gundam model, Gundam unit. And if you've built some Gunpla in the past, tell us a little bit about some of the ones that you really enjoyed or some of the ones you really hated. Because I know some of these kits can get finicky sometimes.
I've heard that as well.
Well, I think both of us are working on a real grade RX78 right now.
Oh, or you are too?
Yeah, I've got
Nice.
one. And when you go and you build the core booster,
Oh man!
you're like, okay, the core booster ends up being
it's
about as big as
so
this
tiny.
part.
Yeah.
You're like,
Well, and that's
oh my
when
gosh.
it's folded out. Like,
Yeah.
When it's not, it's literally just like
It's
a
like-
little box that's like that big.
And they did so much incredible work to get the detail
Oh,
in
man.
that
It's
section of the unit.
so fun.
And then, of course, you put the RX78 together, and you never even know it's there.
Yeah.
But for a fan, they went all in on it,
Yes.
which I definitely appreciate as a fan. But it also meant that there was a bit of complexity there I didn't anticipate in that model at that scale.
Right.
Yeah, that one side there.
Trying to. There's a little bit of release that got left inside here,
Yeah.
and so there's I don't know how far to take it. I think it should be okay. I would rather not take this whole assembly apart
Right.
if I can avoid it. Okay, I think I'm happy with that so far.
These.
Okay.
Now this should be me logged in over here, so I can go and see.
And then we'll snip this off. This should be
Oh, I'm not signed in.
the last little bit there. Oh,
That's fine. All right. I just want to. I don't know if that's gonna cause you any issues over there, but we'll be all right.
no, probably not.
Do you happen to have your? Oh, there's the plastic doodad. Plastic doodad. Now we talked about this a little bit last time, but tools like this
Yes.
can help with part.
So they
Separation.
can. One of my first, if I have some nails in, there's not
that's where
crufty.
yeah.
Like I usually try to use my nail first, and then to get that first little bit of separation. If I can't, then I'll try that. And if that isn't working, then I'll try an X-Acto, because usually I can get an X-Acto in there and just
Yeah.
kind of wiggle it just until I can get it separated. And then let's see. These don't look like they were in this assembly. I'm trying to see what,
No, so,
what was and what
back-
wasn't a part of this,
Back page here,
This
2
assembly.
pages ago.
because this looks like
Was-
me.
Yeah. So here they started on this outer calf
Mhm.
portion, but we didn't end up doing anything. So then we moved down here. You can see we get these outer portions that are going to be at the ankle on the outside. So that's this assembly here.
Mm-hmm.
And then it also had us with these that are going to be the
just
back.
getting the separate units kind of set up.
Yeah,
Looks
and,
like.
and probably because we were working off of those sprues at the time, so it was a good time to go ahead and grab those parts and get them pre-assembled
Yeah.
as we were moving forward. And then what you'll see here, this was the actual knee assembly with the pistons and metal stickers.
Nice.
And that ends up being like the upper part of the thigh. Then, with all those parts assembled, this is where we're at now. We're ready to get some of these on here and then get into the foot.
Okay, sweet. So, I mean, what would you like to do? Would you like to kind of go back a little bit and, you know, just kind of do some cleaning touches and recover some stuff, or do you want to move it forward? And
I think for the moment, I'd like to maybe slow our speed a little and get this cleaned up to where we want them to be.
I very much like that plan as well.
Yeah. Let's see. The kit that was in the little plastic container, where'd that get set? Was that behind the
That
gun?
was in the little.
There it's
Oh,
behind.
that guy? Yeah. And I think I have extra blades in the car. If you
Okay.
are ever in need of one, I can run out and grab some. There's some of this where I do like to get a little bit
Oh yeah.
extra with it. Anything where there's going to be like a really tight fitting seam, I do like to kind of get a little pedantic with it.
For sure.
I'm for me at least, like the build process is
Right.
really the first place to really get things exact.
This is one of the things we talked about a little bit before too. Was you know, how far do we go on parts that may or may not be seen? You know, is it for your own comfort, like for your own sense of a job well done, or do you want to make sure it's super precise? Or, you know, some of this we could maybe bypass a little bit depending on how we intended to display the model.
The plan is to have it be like a store display, correct?
Oh yeah, this thing's gonna be out and everybody can see it, and we plan to have it where you can get pretty close with it. You know, maybe 6 to 8 inches away. So I'm all for the, you know, having the best possible quality, both as a fan and as what we intend to do with it. It's final.
Oh yeah.
Still gotta get it put together a little bit, but we do have an unboxing video for this to show off some of the difference. And as I'm sitting here thinking about it, remembering it, it's a real grade endless waltz wing Gundam.
Oh nice. You guys
And-
did an unboxing on it?
No, we did the unboxing on the RX93 here, remember? And we
Yeah,
were
yeah,
comparing the size of that kit to this one.
Mm-hmm.
For as neat and as detailed as that real grade will be, like, this is like 3 levels above it.
Oh yeah. No, it's crazy. Let's see. So this is gonna be kind of enclosed underneath.
Yeah, so those pins will sandwich it, and then in
Looks like
that
this
section,
kind of
yeah.
maybe on the other side.
Well, so this is what you're ended up looking at. So you'll have those will be butted up against that,
Right.
and that was one of the things that I had trouble with originally, getting that to
There we
snug
go.
up correctly. And this one I think is pretty good. It might be able to use some more.
And then can I
but-
see it really quick? Here, you can just set it down.
Oh, sure. Sorry.
No, you're good. And then Morris may have to kind of pop in and out. We are building this at the game store that he owns and operates, and so then you guys are stuck with me for a little while. Yeah, there's something right here.
Thank you for coming by. I'm glad that you made it.
Where it looks like it's just still not totally totally snug on the front.
Yeah, that one's got like 3 or 4 pegs. It's pretty tight fit on that one.
Yeah, there's something on this front part right here where there's a bit of a gap, and that's what I'm wanting to
Get it sorted
understand out. So I can, because I usually anytime I see gaps like that, like unless it's like a aspect of the kit,
right,
I'm missing something, and sometimes there's a little bit of cleaning or touch up that needs to be done on a piece or part of the kit that you may not expect.
right. Do you want to mention again that we're hanging out today at Griffin's Keep Cards, Comics, and Games in Willard, Missouri for this special RX93 Perfect Grade Unleashed gunpla build.
Let's see here. I think I may have found. Yep, I don't know how I missed that.
Oh, something way on the back
Yeah,
side.
there's something on. Yeah, and this is where like it's so tricky because this innocuous stuff that's on the back.
Yeah.
Sometimes, and then it's like a compounding thing. So we have this tab here and then that tab there,
I see.
and that's causing our issue because it's running up into it.
We're dealing with what stack tolerances essentially.
Exactly. Yeah. And if I'm familiar with that concept, it's kind of like my relationship with it's probably like if I'm doing tile and I'm off by, a tenth of an inch.
Oh yeah.
10 times, then I'm off by a full inch. And so I'm being a little bit more aggressive with the scraping. I'm very curious. We really should look into getting like a pen that has this exact color because there will probably be some scuffing and some thises and that's that we need to end up touching up or cleaning up.
That makes sense.
So I think that will resolve that issue for
We've
us.
likely got the same thing on this other
Oh,
assembly,
I
so
guarantee you we do, and it's not a huge issue. These things are meant to be taken apart and put back together, and yep, just like that. Look at that now.
Oh heck, there it is. Yeah.
And so this is where these we're dealing with a 0.5 millimeter, but you clean it up and it makes all the difference in the world in terms of and so it's
not only does it look like it's obviously it looks better, but it seems like it went together easier.
yes,
So that's a good indicator there too.
yeah, it is a tell, that is for sure. Sorry if I'm not entirely in frame.
It's between the both of us. So,
Yeah.
and then the 2 different cameras and all. But
The other thing too that I've learned over just doing some gunpla and kind of getting back into these modeling techniques is sometimes like if you get just scratching or scuffing, just a little bit of or scrape marks from sandiness, sometimes just a little bit of plastic glue actually fixes a lot of those problems.
oh, nice.
Like it evens everything out. Yeah, I'm putting this on the list as well that I need to just bring all my sandpapers because some of this stuff I'm not uncomfortable, but I'm like, oh man, a better tool for this would be sandpaper versus
Right.
just trying to.
Would glass files, if somebody had those when they wanted to use them, would they also be appropriate in this area?
Those would 100% be appropriate.
Okay.
They're great for finishing, and they're great for, just kind of getting in there and getting the job done.
I'm looking at it. I'm kind of curious now. I'm gonna go ahead and work on
The
this.
one
this part.
gentleman had some of that, and we got to use it during the Gundam Day, and man, they were lovely. Okay, let's see. That just pops out like that. Does this just pull off?
Yes, there's a peg there, and so I don't know. There.
Yep.
You may want to go back on this one. That one should be a slip over and lock in piece that you're dealing with there. We're kind of close, so there and
Yep,
there,
right
like
there.
that.
Yeah, it's starting to come.
There, you need that.
I don't. Maybe. What's tricky is sometimes you get onto the other side of things. There we go. Yeah, that did help quite a bit. Where you're just trying to wiggle it back and forth.
Right.
And ultimately, I'm trying to kind of get in between because I feel like there are some gaps that didn't get cleaned. The one thing that's nice about some of these components is that it can be a little bit easier to clean them because they're going to be kind of squeezed together, and that cyanoacrylate can really help you out there, whereas it may not be able to, or not the cyanoacrylate, the plastic glue.
Oh, right.
And this is what this one looked like. How it was assembled. So I think it was right here.
Yeah. So the booster. So yeah, that's got. Okay. So this is a two-piece here, Anthony. Check that out. One side's gonna have the peg. The other side's like a cap.
Yep. Yeah. And then is there something that goes?
Yeah. For those two, it
Oh,
was just.
this. Because if I do this, then I'm just thinking out loud more than anything.
Would it be
I think
these?
where I'm concerned is there are like the two pistons on the side, and I'm not wanting to bend them, but I think if I just kind of wiggle back and forth, yep, there we go.
There you go.
Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. And now we're gonna get in between this guy.
Cool. Got some customers up front. Maybe we'll check on them.
Yep. Yeah. No. Feel free to. I do not mind. Yeah, man, these kids are so freaking cool. I'm still not over it. Okay. Oh, hey, I have some 500 here. That's nice. That's 500 grit. The sandpaper grits for model building get crazy. I mean, I'm sure some of you guys are familiar with some of the grains and grits, but we'll just kind of go. A little bit of sandy right here. So, it is my personal policy. I need to talk about this when Boris comes back too. He probably sees this happening a few times. I like to keep a very, very light grip on these parts and have a soft thing for it to fall on. I would rather be careful with the piece versus and drop it onto something soft than try to grip it and break something with my hands. So there's some parts like this too, like I don't know what happened here. It looks like somebody got a little bit over eager with cutting, where it can be better just to kind of get in here and try to make it even. versus trying to just leave it alone. Like I talk this a lot I talk about this a lot. I know how to speak English. In my classes, is the human eye is much more looking for shape and pattern versus just like kind of having it be kind of raw, like unless it's something that's going to be intentionally kind of raw, like you have like a weld line, on the model, and this is like a very manufactured, mobile suit, and so we don't want that. There's little stuff. I don't know how you guys see that little bit of resistance right there. That is something that needs to come off. Move some of these guys over. This is cleaned. I'll move this guy over here. And then I'm working on this. That's good. And then we'll need to take a look at these pieces. This has not yet been double checked yet. So, with some of this too, just a little bit of sandpaper is almost always a great idea. You can always attach, kind of hold it onto something else that's flat like this. I'm digging it. Okay. Very happy with those pieces now. We should be able to start to put this assembly back together. I want to make sure I'm getting this the right way. What's nice is usually these assemblies are essentially identical. So I think this is going to go in here, and we can even confirm the, how it's going to be adjusted back and forth just to make sure we are and you see I already made a mistake. It's okay. Something that I'm a very, very big advocate of is that mistakes are very much a part of the process. Don't be afraid of mistakes. It actually makes me happy when I make a mistake live on stream, which I know some people don't, which is weird, but it gives me a chance to show, like, hey, I almost did something, kind of silly right there, like, and that's okay. That's part of the process. One of the guys, it's like, he says something like, first attempt at learning. I feel like that's really apt with that. So, okay, this is fitting together way, way, way nicer now. There's still a little bit of stuff right here that I'm not a fan of. I'm gonna just get in here with an X-Acto knife. and a little bit of sandy. Perfect. Perfect. So the other thing that I have here, this is crazy. This is 3,000 grit. You know, if you want to get really, you know, crazy with it, you can almost buff this back to like looking like cast. It entirely depends on how far you want to take it, of course. And we're, you know, this is like in my mind, I'm wanting to treat this almost like it's a show model. I want this to really look its best here in the shop, and so, you know, this is like the shop's investment into helping market Gunpla and the Gundam TCG, and so like I really want it to look nice. I feel like it's a little bit of slicing and then a little bit of scraping and then a little bit of sanding to get this stuff. I feel like you could make that into a shirt or something. A little bit of a slice, a little bit of a scrape, and a little bit of a sand. And so this is a spot, I don't know if that's how visible that is, where the sprue got kind of pulled away. You can fix this with something that's lovingly referred to as sprue glue. So you take some shavings of the sprue and take some of this glue and you mix it all up, and the end result is it melts that plastic down, and you can just apply it right in there. Okay, I think that's good for sanding. One thing too that I found, so like the sandpaper is getting a little bit dull. The grain is so fine. What I'll do is I'll just like take some of my shirt or something, or my jeans, and I'll just kind of wipe it off. And what you can see is that most of it comes off, and you can just continue to use it until it really gives up on you. These guys, we should be able to get these back on here. Let's take a look at the way that this one is done. So if we orient it this way, we have this chunkier part that goes facing the front. And then this, oh man, this is fitting so much more nicely. I try not to be super, it's a fine line to ride. I try not to be super like elitist about it. When it comes to a model this size though, I really try to be nitpicky. Let's see. This might go towards the side. Like this. Make sure I don't have anything that's not the way that it should be. That looks fantastic now. Okay, I'm gonna pop this guy out as well. There's some extra flash and some things in there. This can get a little bit tricky. So we know that this isn't gonna be seen as much, and so I'm gonna kind of come up from the top here. And I have this cutting mat. And I'm gonna press it down just like that. That's where I do like to keep like fine dental tools. As much as this one pokes the heck out of me, I do like to keep it because it's gonna let us clean up some of these things that were missed. Yeah, that are causing us some issues.
Do you need some unnecessary?
Always.
I have one of 3 flavors.
What are the flavors?
Wild berry, it's got a nice your regular berry. June berry's got a nice tart, kind of like your blue or blackberry. But strawberry apricot is just a sweet, sort of smooth.
Ooh, I'm digging that.
This
That sounds
one's
really
really
good.
good.
Yeah, man.
Hey, look at that. Not
Red Bull.
not sponsored, but we'll drink it anyway.
But if you want to sponsor us.
Yeah. Energy for hours and hours of gunpla action.
Mm-hmm.
Brought to you by insert sponsor here.
Griffin's Keep. For all your TCG gaming and comic needs. Okay, back to it. I like to get really specific with what I'm doing. So you guys will see me kind of like pinching and doing this with my X-Acto. Getting the material off of your blade is really important. I've actually cut myself because I wasn't doing that consistently enough. Definitely something important and worth keeping in mind. Just trying to give it a good once over. At this point, I'm just doing this for fit. I don't think it's going to be visible. When we put it back in, you can kind of just test it just by popping it back in and taking a look. Turning just to see where the point might be, but I'm not feeling it, which is very strange. Oh! It doesn't have one. Look.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So this was fitting snug in there before, to the point that I had to use the tool because of the flash.
Yeah. Now it's So it should all be retained on the peg.
It's all on the
friction
peg.
peg.
Yeah. That's funny. Okay, there we go. And then we have another whole part of this assembly cleaned up and ready to go. We'll put it right over there. Almost. Oh, not quite. We just have this piece. So this piece will be very visible. Yeah, okay. So it's really just plated. That sucks. So this is where we will probably need to find some kind of pen or something, because in order to do this well, it does look like they try to be very, very careful about how they cast it, which is awesome. You also don't want to get like overzealous, so like little nubs like this can look like little flash marks, but they're actually not. So. And then this just pops right back here, I think. Yep, perfect. Nice. All right, I like it. Looking fantastic. Anything that's not visible, though, you can be a little bit more aggressive with. Usually I'll just jump in and scrape because it just makes life easy. Yeah, Boris, we definitely should try to find like an acrylic pen or something, so that we can kind of recover some of these parts. Also, I did bring some 500 grit sandpaper, so
Whoa.
we have kind of that initial roughing. Like it's this I found this grit is like this grit or like 200 grit is really good for cleanup. But and then you know, you have this sanding pad, and like, so if we really need to get really
And that one's great for like roughing, like for the initial like removal of smaller finer points. But it definitely needs a little bit of touch up when you're done with that one.
Okay, that was a cool assembly. I didn't even realize that's how that works. Alright, so now I kind of want to see how it works with this. Okay, so it rotates out, it looks like.
Oh yeah. I mean, all of this stuff is so wild.
I know, it's incredible. Like, this is where it's like GW, like, you know, I don't know what other big model kit makers are out there for, you know, like
when you're
game stuff, but it's like, come on, get with it. Like,
when you're dreading out a static after it's all finished, and you're like, come on, guys, that's the scale of that model deserves a little bit of love.
it needs some articulation, or pushing from behind. I'm just kind of checking as I go. What you want to try to avoid is breaking something because you don't know that there's a point of articulation. One thing too that I found, like if I'm like, so speaking of the RX78 that I've been working on, the real grade, I want to paint that thing, and I have another RX78. It's just like the it's like the beginner's grade. I don't need entry grade. I have taken that thing apart and put it back together so many times that I have lost count. It looks like this is attached to this, and so I'm going to kind of wedge my fingernail in here. And try to just give a little bit of a pry without going too far. It's kind of hard to actually see what is what and where. Because I feel like I'm encountering something. You just need to try to be careful. This can still damage the plastic, and so you try to be very cautious with it. Okay, so now we have this guy, and then I'm going to look at this assembly first. You could spend hours sanding and cleaning all of the mold lines to the nth degree. They do a pretty good job at kind of hiding or disguising them, and it can be very hard. Just to give you guys more background on like what I like to do, I usually enjoy painting stuff for like shows and competitions, in part just because I'm an artist, and you know, at a certain point, like, you know, as a judge and while judging, you are looking for things like mold lines, and so the more attention to detail, you know, the artist or creator has put into whatever they're working on, you know, you try to reward that. It's much less of an elitist, like, oh, look at the, you know, and it's more of a, if they're trying to bring me into this world with them, like, have they done the work to get me there? Okay, that looks good, that looks good. And then let's take a look at how this goes on here, like this.
Sounds like some new assembly or some...
No, this is...
Oh, some update?
Yeah, some update. This one looks pretty good overall. There's a little bit right here. I thought about pausing that stream for a second and just rotating the camera.
Yeah, I'm just trying to make sure you're not missing anything.
That's not a huge deal. I can always do a little bit of this too. Perfect. Yeah, here, you should take a look at this one next to this one though now. I feel like it's...
Is it now an assembly plus one?
You can, yeah, you can really see the, I feel like you can see the difference. This piece looks great though. Good job.
Yeah, it's super tight.
This is going here, I think.
Did you do clamp on both of these or just the one?
Just the one.
That's super tight. That's good.
I feel like it can be kind of like an ephemeral, like intangible thing until you see it like side by side, and then it's like, oh no, that's really nice. Like,
I don't know. As people, though, we tend to have like these sixth sense about certain things, and even quality that you can't see sometimes has like a presence about it.
mm-hmm.
And you go,
I think so.
Something about that is just really,
Yeah.
you know.
Well, and this is where like, yeah, I feel like it has like an essence or a spirit. Like, not to get too philosophic with it, but like,
well, we don't have much vocabulary to describe it better, but yeah, there's this something about the thing when it's well taken care of, or when it's well put together, all that stuff. You know.
It's like, oh, you're familiar with Warhammer, right?
Yeah.
Like the machine spirit.
Oh, right.
There's that idea of like the machine spirit, where like it's maintained well, it's cleaned well, like there's a lot of care put into it, like whether it's a car or model or just something that.
Well, as a mechanic, I've seen that a lot. The stuff that for the people caring for the item tends to be a reflection.
Mm-hmm.
And so you'll see that a lot with cars in particular, but that old collector's car that's been in the garage forever, even though it's been in the garage forever, if it's been well maintained, it always has a bit of extra sparkle, some kind of something about it.
Yeah, almost like, I feel like it's almost like personality.
Oh yeah.
Like.
Yeah, so I can see these are gonna need some.
And for me too, like, we were talking about this a little bit, like the reason why I take it to this degree is that I just enjoy the way that it looks, and I want it to have that, like, that little bit of, I feel like it gets that little bit of spark when you put the time into it.
Right. We had, in that same conversation, we were talking about, you can take a $12 entry grade kit and make it look as good as or better than some of the high dollar kits if you spend the time on them.
You really can. Like,
it depends on what you want out of it, but they can be just as great as any of the others.
Exactly. So this is like a little pro tip that I actually learned from a buddy of mine that worked at ILM.
Mm-hmm.
So if you just kind of like set this stuff on something flat, and you can get the part like separate, and then you sand it, you actually end up getting a much better finish, and it's actually easier on your joints if you're doing hundreds of them.
Oh, sure.
And so
I can imagine hand fatigue was a big issue for the modelers at ILM.
Yeah. He isn't like old school ILM. He's more like new school, but still like in the props.
Yeah.
Where they're working on just tons and tons of stuff.
Yeah, make this assembly 40 times. Oh, what? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, here's one of the things that we get to see as adults. No one ever told me as a kid. They're like, what do you want to be when you grow up? A fireman, a police, all these sort of noble professions. But like for some of those artistic goofballs and whatever, like, I don't know, maybe you should go be a filmmaker or a props person or a special effects artist. Even the ones you don't really think about it, but like makeup effects.
Yep.
Some of the cool movie monsters that we all get to enjoy are done with practical effects. A guy in a chair, a mask, and some makeup.
100%. That stuff is still done. Like, I mean, they're some of it. Like, I feel like the best ones these days are where they do that and CGI.
Yeah, when you combine the techniques properly. I just from a coaching young minds perspective, it's like, oh, okay, you like to draw. Like, well, maybe, you like this, or we see a lot of tutorials for makeup and stuff online. And like, there's real professions around that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, there really is.
So.
Yeah. The thing, never discount yourself. Those things are 100% possible.
Yeah.
The next step of that I wish that somebody had like taught me about sooner is that it's as much about like making connections and meeting other cool people as it is being proficient with the skill, because the people that you meet along the way, you know, if you do a great job and you're friendly and, you know, easy to have a conversation with, and it's very easy to kind of be on the top of that person's mind, be like, well, call this person, like they do a great job, and then you have your in, you know, and you're ready to go. Like, speaking of the guy that I was talking about that worked at ILM, I mean, that's essentially how he got the job at ILM.
Oh yeah.
They were like, hey, like we need somebody that paints like scale models and knows how to do all this stuff, and they were like, hey, I've got a friend from Germany, like give him a call. And they're like, oh great, called him up and got the job. Like,
referral complete.
And so like you just never know where that kind of and you don't get those opportunities if you don't put yourself out there. And
I think it's been probably one of the coolest things to see with the rise of social media and the streamer, where, you know, people have the opportunity to get in front of people they might not have been able to before,
exactly,
and really showcase talent and stuff. Or you can be, you know, goofballs like me and my dad talked about D&D.
Oh yeah,
so,
no, for sure.
It's been a lot of fun. It's definitely, you know, there's a lot of ins and outs to it, but one of the things that's been interesting, as a bit of a segue, was when you look at the way large companies structure projects, some of the more successful ones don't have your traditional like project manager and all that sort of stuff, or a team that they assign. They go, hey, this project is happening over there, and if you want to go work on that, if that sounds interesting, then you go over there. And the project lives or dies based off of whether it's interesting to the talent or not.
That's very interesting. It makes sense though.
Yeah, you know, like, are we gonna spend our time on refining the millionth widget, or are we gonna like, oh, this over here we're gonna try to innovate a new method, and you're like, oh, I think we're all gonna do that.
Yep. Well, and it, like, the people that are building the thing really are the first users for it.
Right.
And so, like, yeah, like, I mean, you want people bought in. You don't just want it to be, you know.
From a management perspective, it's also a great way to keep the team engaged, but also kind of show, it can be your first indicator of any real enthusiasm around something.
Mm-hmm.
And you go, okay, well, you know, the guys that live and breathe this every day think that's awful and they don't want to deal with it. So, you know, do we have a lot of market viability for this?
Right.
I know the marketing guy says he can sell anything, but, you know.
But can't.
Like, maybe we should sell the stuff that people are actually kind of interested in.
We all love Fred, but
for sure. You know, just some stuff like that.
Oh yeah,
it's really been kind of interesting as we work to keep improving in our business acumen here and have a lot of fun with things.
I feel like that almost brings us back around to talking about Bandai.
Oh
like,
man, you know what? It's
like,
particularly around this model, but like, you know.
I mean, we're not just trying to like, just like love on them for no reason. Like, they really do amazing stuff. Like,
from what we've learned in the last year here at Griffin's Keep, running the store, being an organized play store, and supporting different brands, like, the response that we've had from Bandai is incredible. Their support is like nobody else's. I wish some of their tools were a little easier to use.
I'm working on that one.
But,
I really need to finish that project.
But, you know, realistically, like, their cards have a quality like none other on the market.
They're so gorgeous. Speaking of,
you know, like, their player support is really solid.
They could use a little help on the web dev side.
The web dev, but like,
it's not terrible, but it's not great.
Well, they take feedback seriously, right?
Yes.
We had a big Bandai card game launch, and then in Texas they had a lot of new Gundam play, and they're like, okay, what was executed well, what was executed in a way that could be improved, and then by the time we saw our next large event come around, way less concerns about the event, and it was more focused on like, okay, now we're getting feedback about the game itself, and we can work on that with future development. So again, it's just been really neat. And then, we'd carry the gunpla kits.
Mm-hmm.
I've always built models since I was a kid. I remember
same.
level 3, and you get your fingers all super glued next to the door panel. It's supposed to be this 1967 fastback Mustang or something. You're like, well, whatever. But just they make it so accessible, and
they really do.
I mean, you can't ask for more. It's. I'm kind of like I'm going on about it because I'm dumbfounded. The more I think about it, you're just like, all of this is great. I don't know what to do.
Like, I mean, you're so spot on. Like, it's I mean, one of my favorite things is just to put the show on and like work on the gunpla that it's from. Like, it's like, and beyond that too, like they produce video games. So many of their video games are great.
Right.
Like, I mean, they have this kind of whole ecosystem, which is fantastic.
Just a sec here.
The one that's now I just get to drive the conversation. Sometimes because I've had a little, it wasn't a corporate job, but it was close to a corporate job. I feel like sometimes my language is a little bit corporate-y, and it bothers even me. But that's all besides the point. Like, they produced the Elden Ring game, and goodness, it's such an amazing game. And I guess they're gonna start working on a movie with A24, which is just incredible. Alex Garland is supposed to write and direct the movie, and so I am like over the moon hyped, because that is just one of my favorite worlds. It's just so cool. So I had mentioned that Bandai produces games.
Right, yeah.
One of my favorites is Elden Ring, and they recently announced that they're going to be producing a movie with A24.
Oh, sweet.
And Alex Garland is writing and directing it. And so it's like, I'm sure Bandai is involved, on the production side of things, as well as the studio that does the actual making of the game.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like, it's supposed to have like a pretty chunky budget. I'm very excited.
One of the things that's been cool, like the original Gundam, the shows, IPs, all that sort of stuff, manga, were of course printed outside of Bandai's sphere of influence.
Right.
But when they get a hold of something, they really take a lot of care for it.
They do.
And that's been something I appreciate too as a fan.
Yeah. I've heard the same from people that play like the One Piece TCG.
Mm-hmm.
And what's the other TCG that they have?
Dragon Ball
Union
and Union Arena and so it was Dragon Ball, Digimon.
Yep.
All that stuff.
Yeah, I don't know as much about the other ones. I do know though from talking to people that play Union Arena and One Piece that they put a lot of thought and care into those IPs.
Yeah, because some of them are borrowed or lent, I guess you might say. But that's nice that as a company they have the trust of those other creators and license holders.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we know that these guys over here are gonna take care of this, and it's gonna be great. And then it makes it so that the fans can get a hold of it. Digimon was always one of those things. It was new when I was a kid,
mm-hmm.
and my brother really, really enjoys it. I liked a lot of their different games that they've done. I don't know how it is as a card game, but I'd really kind of like to see Digimon have a revival. You take a cute little cream puff, it evolves into a dinosaur, then it evolves into a dinosaur with missiles. You're like, I don't know what's happening, but I'm here for this, and I kind of like it. Also, it's with a computer background, having grown up with a different relationship to computers than what a lot of the kids are growing up with now, where they've got smartphones, right? You and I had to fight our way through command prompts and
Uh-huh.
sometimes bootstrap software.
Menus and
Yeah. It was just neat to think about,
oh yeah.
visualizations of the digital world. I'm also, really big on Tron.
Oh yeah, yeah. I was like, man, that sounded like Tron language. I'm here for it.
So, yeah, it'd be neat to see Digimon get a revival.
This is so crazy. This is.
Oh, this assembly?
They don't even need to, but they do. Look at how there's bolts and detail.
Oh no, yeah.
This.
Like it's like somebody went in with a big wrench, like
This is gonna get completely covered up, and you're never gonna see this. Like, and there's detail in there.
And
like,
that's the thing that's so good.
I don't know how well you like. Hopefully, you guys can kind of see that as I shine the light.
Maybe up here,
like,
and then.
Can you guys see this detail like in these two little holes? Like this is gonna get covered up, but they still like put the detail in there, and it's just it's ridiculous. It's amazing.
You could tell this was gonna be a special kit when Bandai released a 5.5 minute long preview video.
Yes.
Talking about the kit itself. There's the project lead and one of their I think one of their engineer leads for the kit. They're like,
jeez. I mean, these things are like, in all honesty, like I don't see how you can't not engineer something like this. Like it has to go through an engineering process.
Well, this in particular, where we're talking about full range of motion and stuff, and then this is on their new unit system that they're developing for their large scale kits. And they approach this from the idea of, if this was an actual machine, if this existed in the way that it's imagined, what would it take for this to be able to function in the way that we see it function? Yep. And that's where we get, the 9 points of articulation in this, like one assembly.
It's just crazy, man.
It's just impressive.
Butter. I don't know. It's so crazy because like the only thing I cleaned is this, but now it inserts cleaner.
Sure.
Like, and so like always take your model cleaning in assembly. Just if you're doing 80%, try to do 90, 95, and see what the difference is. Just do it for an aspect of it, because this is so much silkier than it was before. Like I kind of put it through its paces, and goodness gracious, like it's so nice. This is where like I'm trying not to like. Can you see this too? So you see how this is like up and off, and how this is flush. It's because there's this little bit of this stuff. And just that little extra. This is much less of an impediment than these two are, but it's all of it together that are, causing that to happen the way that it is. So fun.
Now I got my brain racking on more robot and stuff. I'm a big fan of the cyberpunk genre, and I was thinking about some of the cool mecha that we got in some of the cyberpunk anime. There's Maddox, there's Pat Labor, which we've had some kits come out actually for those units. I always like some of the Imagine stuff from the Bubblegum Crisis series.
Okay, I haven't seen that one.
It's like powered armors and stuff, but it's kind of like the dangers of an AI run amok, and it's your regular like cyberpunk, like faceless, heartless mega corporation producing a product that it knows is unsafe, and but
look at that.
Oh yeah, much better.
The only one that I'm actually like concerned about is that there's this gap right here.
Yeah.
And so I'm like really trying to see.
It's gonna have to be inside that.
I'm trying to think of if it's actually worth it to get in there.
For such a major assembly as the thigh, I mean, kind.
But I don't know how complex the entire thing is. Like.
Oh, there's like 6.
Because this just looks like it's.
They're gonna snap on to it, and then you've got these pegs, and then there's like 4 other like
looks
peg
like
and cylinder connections inside that to really
Yeah.
hold it together, because that's going to be
Yeah.
something that
that's-
supports and transfers weight.
Yeah, that's a part of this. And that's a part of. Yeah, I'm just gonna go for it.
Yeah, that one you'll have to sort of work apart a little bit at a time. I remember that thing going together was when they had to go together carefully because you had so many points of connection internally.
Yes, yeah, I'm seeing that. Did you ever like take stuff apart when you were a kid? I was talking with my wife about this.
Legos was 100% my thing. So like, assemble it, take it apart.
Like, did you ever do like?
Well, they kept me away from the stuff that I could like do real damage to.
So. Right. No. Yeah. And that's
like,
kind of what I'm thinking of as well. Is like, so my dad did construction.
Oh yeah.
And you know, he'd go to these job sites, and sometimes you just have people that were like, "Yeah, I've just got this old microwave, or you know, this stereo that died." You know, when it was forward.
I did do a lot of electronics. Because he taught me a lot about component level diagnostics to the circuit board level.
Oh, nice.
Which is not something you see a whole lot of anymore.
Yeah.
It's becoming more of a specialized skill. You'll see it in like industrial maintenance, but like in the regular consumer electronic, not really anymore.
Right. No, I mean you'd be surprised at how much like repair there still is.
Probably.
Like I mean I've repaired like Theo switch, like
oh yeah.
Like I've seen people do full breakdowns and repairs on like DS's and
I didn't expect Ray today.
Nice.
Those are almost, you get into almost like the niche of the hobbyist.
But
it's a lot less common because I remember you used to have to like clean the laser on your CD player all the time.
oh yeah.
What up, Ray?
What up, Ray? Oh, this is gross. This is not comforting. I don't know why this is fighting me, but it is. I might try to get in and pry a little bit. I think it's just really snug within that peg. I'll take this off screen for a second so I can
not break it or hide that you broke it.
no, just try to
you're working
get it into a
chest.
different position. Yeah. Like you guys didn't use any glue, right?
No, sir. That's what I was trying to caution you on. Like, those parts are together.
Mm-hmm.
I had to take one of them, one of the legs apart because the piston assembly was wrong. So I had to take the leg apart, flip that around so it would go into the ick. I remember it being a thing. I gotta tell you though, Anthony, working on these gun pop kits, especially this high level one, makes me want to go and get my cars back together.
Your what?
My cars.
Oh yeah.
I got an 8.6 that I need to rebuild the engine for.
Oh man.
And then I got a Mustang that was hit that I gotta transfer all the stuff into a new chassis.
Huh, where did you... I felt like my X-Acto blade snapped. Dude, that's super cool though.
Hoping with this new job I'll end up with the, at least the finances. I don't think I might ever end up with the time to do it all.
I know, man. That's always the... There we go. Goodness gracious, that was...
I did the same thing.
Okay, hopefully now I can kind of... Man, are you sure there's no glue? Because that is snug as a bug.
Mm-hmm. May I look at it real quick?
Mm-hmm. It should rotate, right?
Yeah, this will. So you got that. Probably actuation.
Yeah, maybe I just need to kind of...
Here's the thing, you can see those concentric rings? That's a full cylinder peg for that axle.
Yeah.
Well, you got quite a lot of engagement in there, and you're going to have to...
Yep. That's exactly what I was thinking. Thanks, man. That helps me a lot, because now I can work from the opposite side with this piece. That was making me really nervous. Goodness. What a booger. Now I'm like trying to see what was snugging it, because that's... Okay. Thanks, man. This is one of the reasons too. I'll be honest. There's some of this stuff that's cool, like hanging out, because you know how to get some of that stuff apart.
Oh.
Like, because I mean, you've just done that with your work a lot.
Yeah.
And even after years and years of doing this kind of stuff, like I talked about it a little bit before. Like, I still have stuff to learn. This is why it's just cool spending time with other people. Is you're gonna learn new stuff.
Even from the beginner, they may have come across something that wasn't in your area before, and you go, "Wow, that's an interesting technique."
And they have no preconception of
what's right
the
and wrong.
rules.
Yeah, the way to do it. Yeah.
And so they don't care. They're just trying to get it done.
Mm-hmm. So all I'm saying is, don't discount a learner.
Yeah.
They still have stuff to teach you too.
100%.
Mm-hmm. You coming back to this? I love this, dude. I'm so excited. It's gonna be awesome.
Okay. Well, I'm glad that we got it back to this point, because this didn't feel like it was sitting in there as well as it could. And I hope you guys, both you and Josh, don't take this as me just giving you guys a hard time. Ripping everything apart and kind of jumping back in, because that's not it at all.
Well, I kind of figured, particularly when I started to see the scale of things and it all coming together, and we did move kind of fast. I'm like, we're gonna have to go back and clean up probably a lot of this. So.
Well, and that's also it's where it's tricky as well. Figuring out what the right pace looks like, figuring out what your margin looks like.
And this is. There's going to be some allowances, because this is a collaborative project. It's going to be a little different.
Exactly. Yep.
If I could sit here and not share the sandbox, as it were, but
right.
I want to include my friends, and I want to I really appreciate your expertise on this, and it's just a cool dang thing.
Yeah.
And then again, for its cost, it's not something that we can all just go get one.
Right.
This one took a little bit of planning to make sure we could get it here. So, make sure that we can all enjoy it.
Does this get rotated? Yes. Oh, it clicked. It didn't do that before. Oh, so nice. Okay, sorry.
Now that's what we were talking about earlier, that feeling of a job well done, and then the spirit of the thing. Really gonna have something cool.
One thing that I like, this is kind of on that top, I feel like they did more and more as the Gundam shows progress, is they put the mechanics and the people repairing and working on the Gundams more of a spotlight, where they become important pieces of the narrative.
I definitely could see that in the in Wing.
Mm-hmm.
Was it Harold? He was on the Peace Million.
Troa.
Yeah, Joe was there. But the guy that was the mechanic, I mean, he got him into space. He repaired all their stuff in the last half leading up to the fight.
Kind of the same in
with Zex.
00. Like, where the engineer and the mechanics, like, they kind of took some of those core people, like, to do the missions with him.
The other one that was really good and was definitely very central, I forget the character's name now, but in Iron Blooded Orphans.
Yes.
That man kept that whole operation alive.
He was a legend.
You know, him and his team with all of the mobile workers, and then, of course, the Barbados being smashed to pieces on a weekly basis.
I mean, besides the fact that he started dating the accountant lady, so good for him.
Yeah, prime move. When she first came aboard, I thought they were trying to set up something between her and Orga, and I was like, I guess I could see that.
I kind of got that vibe for just a little bit too.
It was nice to.
I think it was like from his perspective, and then they showed a more neutral perspective where she's like, "These are freaking kids, man."
Right, and it was just one of those. You know, they were the adults in the room, as it were.
Right.
And so you go, hey, I keep all the financials together, and you keep all the equipment together.
Yeah.
Maybe we should, spend some time hanging out.
It's like, can we do anything about this? It's like, they're gonna do it anyway. So.
Yeah, they keep breaking their toys. I don't know. And they're expensive.
There are some of the OVAs. What is it? Stardust.
Oh yeah, that's because that unit that they have in that one is a test unit.
Yes.
Was never meant for frontline combat, but they ended up the antagonist, that guy built that mobile armor out of a scrap pile. He was a Xeon pilot.
Yeah, and then there was the Xeon. Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean,
I'm trying to remember she was like the really like buff lady that came along from Anaheim. Because there was kind of like the engineer girl where she was like kind of like the love interest, but also like one of the core like engineers, designers of one of the suits. And it was like the mechanic, like lead mechanic that she brought, where she's just like this, like, she was like 6 foot tall and just like buff.
Yeah. She was the builder, the builder engineer that could like carry the assemblies.
But she's just like, she was like the level head the whole time. Like I feel like the mechanics always bring that, where it's like we have to deal in the realities, man. There's too much pragmatism when you're the guy that has to put it back together. Exactly.
There's also driving engineers crazy. They have their
you guys are like the QA. Like you make sure we're like the engineers aren't doing stupid stuff and send it back. I mean that's how the dynamic should be, at least on the mechanical engineering.
But because you get to the idealized spec, and then there's like, well, it shouldn't be able to do that. You're like, well, I modified it. You're like, well, you can't do that. You don't know how that works. Like, I'm the one that's put it back together. I kind of understand it a little better than the book report does. Yeah. We went ahead and put a supercharger on that one, even though it already has 2 turbochargers on that one. And now it goes real fast.
Yeah. Other times, though, I feel like mechanics, they'll kind of be like, yeah, you guys didn't know you could like modify it this way and make it even better? Like,
right.
You're like, no.
And then, the field engineer is basically like a higher level mechanic. The formally trained engineer that also fixes cars.
Gosh.
And then you get into you're like, I loved arguing with the field engineers when I was working at a dealership. And they'd come through and you're like, look, I have this turbo over here is leaking oil. And they're like, well, that oil could have got there because of the PVC system. I was like, This vehicle is brand new. It should not have a PCV system. Okay, now I'm talking too technical. Anyway, so yes, that particular system can cause oil to get into weird places in the engine, but sometimes the engineer brain still goes too deep when you're like, it's leaking right there.
Yeah.
They're like, but it could have come up from over here. It's like, but that's the problem.
Well, we don't know. Yeah. It's like that weird in the middle check between an assumption, because that's pragmatically what you think it's coming from versus like we actually would have to take this entire thing apart to figure out if it's actually coming from here or here. Like,
like the testing, particularly in the field, you're just like, this is silly. It's like when you have your car running poorly, it's misfiring. You're like, there's technically, maybe 15 particular or potential independent causes for misfire, But you're going to start with checking the spark plugs because that's going to probably
Yeah,
be where
yeah.
your problem's at.
It's like,
We don't jump down halfway through the troubleshooting and go, I think it's this.
well, I've heard to some extent it's like the same, almost like with like medicine, where it's like,
Oh,
like
Yeah.
it's almost like the WebMD thing, where I've heard the same thing almost happens with like residents, where they're like, well, this could be cancer, and it's like, he
I have
probably
a
has
headache.
he probably has a cold. Like,
yeah, like
let's give him some antibiotics and send him home. Like, if this is still bad after this long, then yes, like this could be something worse. But
Yeah,
we're not going to jump to that if he has no medical history of this.
yeah,
Unless
it
it's
started when? Yesterday? Okay. Here, take this decongestant, go lay down.
but yeah, it's like, spark plugs. Like, is there corrosion? Like,
Yeah, nah.
there's some of that basic stuff I know enough to be dangerous and fix my own stuff. It's the deeper tuning and tooling and.
It was just, in the experience of it where you sit there and you deal with the practicals of every day. And the field engineer is also really good at this. But he goes, well, what about that? You're like, okay. While it's a technical possibility. Like, let's make sure we're checking the basics here. You're like, it could be on fire. Like, it's not, but it could be because it's on fire. Luckily, we have some fire extinguishers for that.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, we didn't see him a lot, but I gotta imagine that the white base crew had some pretty solid mechanics on there too. They had one Gundam unit that they kept operational through all of their harassment of Xeon.
Oh man, yeah, it's crazy.
And while they did get more supplies and stuff, like they never really got. I think they got additional crew once, where they introduced Slager Law and a couple other people. And
Amuro and like the other like teenage, I'm trying to Kai and what was the other one?
Oh, you're gonna make me look silly now, because there was two that ran in Gun Tank. We had Kai, and then because it's Hayato.
Hayato, yeah. And I know they were both kind of in the guts of those suits, doing what they could. But I know there were a few instances where they had like mechanics, like actually like on the white base.
Yeah.
In there as well, so that they could finally get some rest without Bright smacking them around. I just want a nap, smack.
Yeah, like, I don't want to kill anybody anymore, smack. He's like,
I feel like it.
Can I have a sandwich, smack?
I feel like it oscillated so much though, where sometimes they'd be like, "I want to sleep," and he's like, "No."
And
then other times they'd be like, "I need to get back out there." And he's like, "No, you're gonna go rest."
We talked about this a little bit. Bright had such pressures on him. I think he was having his own issues, and then we see him later, like the Zeta gets stolen. It gets stolen a second time. And he's smacking Camille, and Camille's punching Jared.
It's like that meme of that guy just like
yeah. Just standing out there. It's like, hey, didn't you hear there's a new Gundam pilot? He's like, oh god. And it's not like we got a better one after Camille. We got Judao, and he's just.
Well, it's almost like One Piece, where it's like a hyperactive ADHD kid goes on an adventure and makes it everybody's problem. Like, you kind of love his energy though, because he's just so like.
That's about what I think what it takes to be successful as a Gundam pilot.
Yeah.
Either that or you're on the other side where you're very edgelordy.
Yes.
We got Setsuna. He had real trouble, and then Hero.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, mission accomplished, explosion, dead.
It's like sweet relief. It's like
so now I can take a nap. See, he needs somebody to smack him every once in a
while. It almost makes me think of the little blue star from Mario.
Oh my god. That's such an interesting inclusion in the film.
Hilariously nihilistic.
For a kids film, you're like, what is this? But
Is it nihilism or is it absurdism? Like, I'm trying to. It kind of runs the border between the two.
Yeah. It was definitely very bleak, and I was like, "This is hilarious," because that's the way they use it. Obviously, was very comical, but like you're dangling in a cage over the lava pit. The little blue star's having an existential crisis.
Oh no, he's past existential crisis. He's accepted.
Yeah. And now everyone else will too.
The sweet relief of death. It's just so crazy. Like,
Thinking about that now, I have to wonder what other interesting things we can expect in the Super Mario Galaxy movie.
Oh,
It
man.
seems to be doing well.
it seemed like I had talked to somebody and they said that they had enjoyed it. I've seen other reviews that were like it was a dumpster fire, but like it seemed like the first one did great, so I kind of want to go check it out.
And the first one also kind of got panned because it's
Yeah.
Super Mario Brothers.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay.
I feel like so many audiences just it's like you're not getting The Godfather every movie. Like quit being so edgy.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of audiences have just forgotten how to have fun. It's like,
There's a lot of studios that have forgotten to have fun. You know, you're like, oh, we have to be able to like, what was it? The accolades from the industry stuff. You're like, you made Super Mario Brothers? That's ridiculous. You're like, I don't know. The pianist was already taken. Like Schindler's List was done and it was done well. Like, what do you want?
Yeah.
We were over here trying to have a good time. You know, there's definitely take the art seriously, but not every film is an art piece.
No. Well, it's like I was talking to you a little bit about, or maybe it was somebody else here, about the Poketoons.
That would have been
Pokemon TV. Maybe it was other Anthony.
Yeah.
And there was that other young guy that was here.
We othered him.
Yeah,
we could call him Bizarro Anthony.
Anthony won. I joke around with him that whoever wins at Pokemon for that week gets to be just Anthony.
No last initials, just Anthony.
Yeah, like Prince. So Pokemon TV has put out these incredible shorts, and both the storytelling and the like the quality of the art is just incredible. Like I'd make the analogy that it's similar to like Pixar shorts.
Oh yeah,
in terms of like the scope and feel of the stories, and like some of them aren't like super deep, but I don't think that a story has to be deep and edgy and grim and nihilistic to be very meaningful. And I actually think that this is something that a lot of like, at least I don't know if we really need another one of these.
So what I'm working on here, this is going to be like the hip joint, and it's very, very tight. And I was watching you work on some of these other assemblies, so I'm like, go in here and double check these, make sure we didn't put them together incorrectly, because this should move. Even if it was firm, it should move.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. This, what is it?
Yeah.
Is it this piece right here?
Yeah.
Well, and some of it too is so like, I'm trying to remember if this will fit in.
I think it's gonna go here, like one of those pegs will go into the top.
Yeah. It's more that I'm trying to see if it rotates, but I don't want to.
Yeah.
Does this rotate? It looks like it should.
It looks like it should.
Maybe it's just for the rotation this way though.
I can see that.
I'm not gonna mess with it. This one's yours, I think. Yeah, because this is the one that I did. But anyway, going back to the Poketoons, like they managed to tell these fantastic stories within that world, and usually they're about something that's like meaningful. And I get frustrated at people in general where they get dismissive of animation and things that look like cartoon as something that's like simplistic or for children only, because I think that they've forgotten how to kind of have a sense of like wonder and curiosity, but then on top of that, I think that there's also really important lessons that adults can learn from some of those more basic things about like friendship and trust, and like what it means to grow up and be responsible. But anyways, so Pokemon and Poketoons, like these vignettes are just amazing. Very worth watching.
I have to put some on when we're getting ready for play on Sunday at the Pokemon League.
Oh yeah, of course they're kid friendly too. Like
yeah.
this is a piece that I had worked on before.
I recognize those cut marks.
Something that I was talking about just a little while before when you were helping out the customers was I like to have a relatively loose grip on a part and like a soft surface below to drop the part onto, because that way if something slips I'm not going to damage the part. It just like falls out of my hand.
Right, that makes sense. Do you like to work on a towel, or right now we've got this custom playmat down, and it seems all right. But maybe for some of the smaller parts, do you think like a terry towel or something is nice to help like keep it from falling off a table, as an example? Or?
I've never had, I've never experienced that as like something that helps keep things off. If anything, I like having like little paint palettes, like to have little dishes to keep parts kind of in.
That's kind of nice.
Once you get into larger scale stuff, it's not actually as important. It's the only thing that I find valuable is to have almost something like the instructions that you can set the parts on to kind of
we covered that initially, and I like that idea because you're just like, that's the thing I need. It's right there.
Yep, exactly.
Let's see, I'm sitting here struggling this thing to nothing. So let me back up to page 1 and see. Oh, Anthony.
What?
Bad times.
What?
Okay, so we were excited to make it to page 23. Okay. Well, the the assembly doesn't actually start till page 20. So there we go.
Nice.
So this is what the internals of that assembly look like here.
Yes.
So I would imagine that's meant to rotate in some way.
Also, let's wait on all stickers.
Yeah, that was one of the things I was gonna ask you about too. The some of these I think I'd rather paint if we can get a neat iridescent.
If we can
or
get
some kind of
a
paint.
pen, some paint, I would rather do that. I can always get a hold of my friends over at Turbador as well.
Sweet.
And see what they can do, and I still have some really amazing color from them. And then I think we already talked a little bit about wanting to do the transfers properly.
Yes. Yeah. Alright, so here's one of the things, the main waste unit. So I'm thinking those are going to go onto there. Oops.
Yes.
So I'm expecting to have some sort of like hip motion in this part.
I think that's just going to be from the peg here.
Right, but
but some outward motion.
Yeah, because of the posability.
Maybe they're just really stiff.
I can see some of that. I worry about them being so stiff because they're going to apply
there
a
we
lot. Go. Oh. Well, mine won't move. So, there, give that a shot. Maybe. Oh.
They're extremely stiff.
Gotcha.
Because they're going to be bearing so much weight.
Right, and they're going to lock themselves in on friction. All right.
Problem solved. Go team.
Woo! Alright, make sure everybody can see the destructions.
Sorry, did I just blow stuff on you?
It's fine. This is actually much cleaner work than what I usually do on a daily, so this is alright.
I know, I would hate to be the person to like blow a bunch of crap in your face and you're just like, thanks, bro.
It's like, oh, did you need that in your eye? Well, it's in your eye anyway. Alright, well, let's see if the cleanup work that I did on these a little while ago.
Something is supposed to go in here. this is probably gonna go out here.
Alright, yeah, so you're gonna have these things. You have to be careful with those ones. Pages ahead.
Yep, I think, yeah, you're right. This goes in here.
Yep, that was right here for reference anyway.
Yep, okay, perfect.
So I'll start here and then.
And then, yes, there's that other piece. This guy.
Yep, because then you'll have this piece to start with its assembly, and then you get the big piece that goes and finishes off that.
This guy goes here, it looks like. Oh man, you were kind of showing me some of the stream from last week, and I had brought up Build Fighters. Have you watched that show?
No, I need to.
Oh,
I need.
It is just it's so fun, man. It's
Maybe we can put some on when we take a break here, because I think it's on the Gundam channel, Gundam.info, official
maybe
Gundam channel.
That would be
At least some of it, because it.
Oh, that went together so smoothly.
There we go. Nice. Okay, yeah, I got this cleaned up. That was much better looking fit. Boom, shakalaka.
Yeah, it's a ton of fun because it actually has some like very light isekai elements, but it's like somebody getting isekai'd to Earth, and the only thing that's like futuristic or isn't a real thing is the like the little Gundam battles that they have, like the system that they have for that. And it's just a ton of fun because you have people that are Gundam fans that are like a part of the show, but then they're kind of themed in terms of like the caricatures to look like characters from like just a bunch of the different Gundam series. And so, you just get all of this like kind of mix of fandom and like mix of genre, and it's kind of got some shonen-like elements.
That was one of the things that was always kind of fun about like the SD Gundam stuff, was like the chibi personifications of the different units.
Yes.
So I am excited for it because I was a big fan of. Lost it.
No worries.
I sent you that video on that anime. I forget what it was called. Angelic Layer.
Okay.
Yeah, which was very seems similar in concept, where you would construct your fighter and then they'd enter an arena and you'd pilot it or control it in some way.
Yeah.
But tell you what, if they had one for Gundam, I'd be there. I mean, that's what we'd be building now. Like, let's go ahead and build fighters.
It would be amazing. What's super cool, like in the show, and maybe we talked about this a little bit too, is that the better built and the better painted it is, the better it performs within the game system.
Oh, nice.
And so
the quality was really nice.
I actually had that recommended by one of the people from the Gun Club, the Ozarks. That time that Theo and I bumped into you, I think around Christmas time.
Yeah, right when we were up there, they had a big build going on, a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, I think they actually had that little show or competition going on, right?
Yep.
That was super cool. I think that it was super cool to have Theo see that kind of thing, because that really took his imagination.
Oh yeah.
Wiggle you out just a little bit. Now applying the lessons.
Oh yeah, that was one of the things we had to go and do the last time.
Just gotta get everything lined up.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is so cool because you kind of get this slice of like what's happening internally.
Yeah, like in that regard, you see it from like the practical modeling standpoint, and then you also see where they have these elements that are like, this is supposed to, like, it's representative of what you can anticipate the engineering would be.
Yeah, I mean it's incredible because it's 8 different pieces working
Yeah.
together to facilitate this articulation. Okay. So again, I'm gonna dry fit this sort of, and just see all the points where it may have some kind of contact, just to make sure I haven't missed anything before I do kind of a half fit.
Yeah, here, slow that down just a little bit and show it off for the camera so that everybody can kind of see. Because you're looking here, particularly along these new seams and any edges.
I'm trying to see if I have like a little, So what I'm doing optically is I'm just tracking all along the entire seam, just to make sure I don't have any cleaning that I missed, and so it looks good. And so now I'm going to fully push this all together, and it feels way better than it did previously to me. And
Man,
just to
visually, I can tell it's tighter.
This one actually looks pretty tight. Like there's some little differences though, like in here, and then just like along the back, you can see the seam is way tighter. I think this is good. That could use a little bit of touch up, but it's external, so I'm not in trouble. Sometimes too, the eye just gets really used to seeing something, and so it can be very helpful to take little visual breaks.
Oh yeah, because it's interesting, like what the eye actually observes versus the way our brains will process it.
Yes. Well, and this is something that I've been on this track, recently, because I feel like art gets left out of the whole like science piece, but the arts are really how you get to science.
Yeah.
From like a historical perspective, where really you're teaching the skill of observation, and all science really is observation plus recording, which visual art is almost that. It's just not sequences of documented things. It's
and that's classically from the I see what it's doing. We're good. A lot of the original science or early science, particularly on like the European classics, masters and stuff, were the artists.
Yep.
Paints, pigments, canvas, a lot of that craftsmanship. And then Da Vinci, with his imagination, was like, well, can I make a machine fly? What might that look like?
Yeah, he definitely got into the whole engineering aspect of, all of that.
Yep.
And then, was this one that you had disassembled?
Partially.
Okay.
Did it not come all the way back together? Yeah, it needs to be squeezed back together.
Yeah, I'm trying.
Sorry.
Oh no, it looks like it's getting there. Okay, cool. Just give it a solid. The only thing that I forgot was to put this piece back on. The horror.
How could you?
Heresy.
There you go. So those are ready.
These are good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Nice.
I
Legend.
double check if you want, but.
Sometimes if something is almost a little bit too snug, I'll still just kind of go through and just give it a little bit of a scrape on all 4 sides, just in case things need to come apart and it's a non-joint part.
Right, because that's going to have some sort of like physical click connection.
I can double check. Oh yeah, there's a few.
Along the bottoms.
So there's these guys.
I was working primarily on the fitment of the silver onto the dark gray.
Oh, gotcha.
And they look way better. But and consider those pieces.
Just some little nibs. Thankfully, these pieces are like there's only a few of them.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, you said you were mainly focusing on the silver.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that looks great.
We'll have to take a break here before too long. I got some store business to deal with. Got to order some stuff and take care of some logistics.
Yeah.
It's one thing that we can talk about. What do you think are going to be some of the big changes with the upcoming GDO4 release for Gundam card game?
It seems like I haven't looked at too many of the releases, like the pre-releases. Some of it looks like they're trying to add some effects and some things to help kind of moderate the existing meta. And so I'm curious to see how effective those are. My experience with TCGs is that they tend to kind of be band-aids more than real fixes. But then it seems like they're also adding some like suits that will sync with pilots. I really, a part of me wishes that they would release like new pilots with better effects that would kind of compete. But and then it also seems like they're trying to give some of the utilities to the various colors.
Yeah, we've got a little bit of like draw is pretty heavy in blue. You can find it in some regard on some other units, but I don't know if
purple has some.
But like I think green is still missing a lot of that.
Green is missing a lot of it.
They're great for breach and some of those effects, tokens in particular, but like you know, having a little bit of draw or something along those lines would be nice. It would make that play style a little bit more viable.
Yes.
Because being a token rush deck, you run out of cards by turn 5, and the game's no fun anymore.
Yep. Yeah, and it seems like maybe there's some stuff with Vulture. I know all the Impulse Gundam stuff from the new the Super Duper
STO9, which is Gundam Seed Destiny.
That stuff has helped a lot. I found that as well as, at least on the blue side, white base has helped with hand size quite a bit. And so in my mind, I'm kind of like partially just thinking like, man, if I can just throw those in an archetype, then I end up with something that can kind of hold out a little bit longer than just like a straight rush. But no, I mean, what have you seen? I feel like you've probably been keeping maybe a closer eye.
I have been. So we're getting some fan favorites moving into other colors right now. So the Witch from Mercury, which is going to be Solida Mercury.
Yeah.
The Academy trait is going into green.
Okay.
So Gundam Fairact is like everything that we've seen from Academy that had been in white is going to go green.
Interesting.
So you'll be able to combine your previous white with green, and that's going to end up being a neat like blockers. And they've got a lot actually where they're playing with resource scaling in that set. So if
like
you
ramping.
Yeah, but if you use your EX resource to pay the cost of a card, its effect will change. Sometimes it's a doubling, sometimes
interesting.
So, you know, like it'll say reduce damage by 1 but if you use an EX resource, reduce damage by 2 or something.
Ooh, that's cool.
You know, if it was like choose a unit up to level 2, it's now choose a unit up to level 4, or choose up to 2 units or something like that. So green's always been really good with the resource ramping, but now there's going to be a reason to actually want to get those EX resources out on the board and spent. So you're going to see a lot more resource management and cycling in green than what we've seen before.
Okay.
It used to be just kind of like a rush to the end game.
Yeah.
And
either a rush to the end game or just a rush to knock out your opponent as fast as possible.
Yeah, because if I've got 2 more resources, and that doesn't sound like a lot, but in this game, 2 more resources can be the difference.
Oh, no. Yeah, very much.
I'm hoping that's going to give Gundam Age some legs, too. It's been kind of flatly received, mostly ignored, realistically. but they're really cool units. And so they also do a lot with EX resources. And I'm hoping Gundam Age will get a chance to start to shine here in this set.
That would be cool.
But that's the big change coming to green. Will be this sort of like resource, particularly EX resource stuff.
Yeah.
Because you're allowed 10 normal resources and up to 5 EX resources at any one time. So potential maximum of 15. But I can imagine with the way some of these things play, you pay a resource, you pay your command, and then you attack with Soletta, restand that resource to now bring down an EX resource for your other attack. You're going to end up with some new game loops that we haven't seen yet.
I mean, there's probably some synergy in there, even with some of the existing green stuff with
right, yeah,
like
and then,
Gundam Wing.
Yeah, Wing will do well with that. The other thing that's going to be neat is White, particularly on the Academy side, always dealt with the number of command cards in the trash and recovering command cards. So I use an EX resource, I pay for my command, I use my White, Gundam Aerial to recover that command for my next turn. Right. And you're like,
yeah, Josh was playing with some of that stuff this last Sunday, and that was really cool. Like, he wasn't able to get it off when he was playing. Like, he did once for a unforeseen incident, and it was gross because he could just completely swing on me, and I think I ended up hitting him for 1 on just like a regular Gundam, and it was...
It can make a big difference. Like, when we're dealing with limited deck space and some of the difficulties that these decks have for draw.
Yes.
Being able to use what you've already got twice, I mean, that can be better than getting another card.
It really can. Like, having the discard, as a pool, to potentially be able to grab stuff from is fantastic. I think that's one of my major complaints from a game perspective is that it's just you're very locked in once the shuffle is set. Yeah. And so
Vegans tried to do that a little bit in purple with the Return from the Graveyard playstyle. Yes. And there's a little bit of recursion. You've seen me play with it in Gundam X.
Yep.
That's a bit cost heavy to try to get it to activate consistently.
I think they were trying to solve some of that with the seed stuff.
Yeah. It definitely does it better than what we've seen so far in the game.
Yeah.
But I think, if we get some viable things where we're being able to either return from the graveyard, or actually we're going to see our first search in Gundam Barbados Lupus Rex.
That should be really
Search
cool.
your deck for 1 to 2 Gundam frame unit cards, pay their cost to deploy them.
Which is crazy.
And then you reshuffle your deck. So that's the first time we're seeing that now in the Gundam card game.
Well, and then it also has some... what is it? It's like the number of cards in the graveyard that are Tekkadan or...
Okay, so that's...
I know that's a different card.
Yeah, so Gundam Barbados Lupus can discard 3... I think it just says purple, but it could be Tekkadan or no, you're right. It's Tekkadan or Teiwata's unit cards for ping damage.
Yes.
And then CB has, if you have 7 or more CB unit cards, or I think it's just CB cards in the trash, you get extra effects.
Yes.
There's another one like that. So with 12 in the trash, Banshee with Merida has an extra effect.
Yeah. And
then we'll see some of that with Vulture in purple as well for cards in trash.
Right.
Decisive Last Resort being the big one. So there's a little bit of that, but I think we're really going to see that as a new gameplay loop. And then certain things coming to colors we hadn't seen. We're going to get an RX78 with Amuro that will have high maneuver.
Oh, some of the things that's making me think of something that I have seen is the where a unit gets knocked out and it has multiple pieces, then the pieces become units on the board.
Big thing for that one is going to be Zeong. We saw that at the end of the 1-year war, the Battle of Abo Aq. So it comes out, and then when it's paired with a new type pilot, you get you get 2 tokens for the left hand and the right hand.
Yep.
And then when the main unit is destroyed, like we saw in the show, and Amuro shoots Zeong in the chest, Char at that point, Zeon had started to put their large mobile suit pilots into the head. and so he ejects the head and escapes into ABOA Q, and the battle continues. So that unit in particular is going to be cool. It comes out with 2 tokens.
Yes.
It's going to create another token when it goes down. And there's a lot of speculation for the upcoming inclusion of some of the Char's counterattack stuff, particularly the new Gundam, the one we're building here. The RX93 is coming to the game in June or July. And that may be a token generator for the fin funnels.
Mm-hmm. That would be really cool. Are they not doing anything with that with the like with the RX78? Because like obviously it's not the exact same, but it does change in shape to some extent. Where the
we saw so you know, it was based on the core booster concept, and we see that with Gundam Seed too, where you got striker packs and that sort of stuff. And we've talked about it a little bit, where we kind of feel like they missed an opportunity for like unit combinations.
Yes.
So you got some cards in there that sort of meet the theme, but it's not like, you know, I deploy core booster and then I get the leg and the torso, and then I get, you know, it starts off as a maybe a 2-1 unit, and then I can bind these other pieces, and now it's a 3-3, and then I get the final piece, it's a 6-5 or something.
Right.
You know, I could see that being a bit of a challenging thing in the game because it's difficult to draw, but you know, that would be a cool thing for bases to handle, because they got to launch from Archangel or White Base or what have you. Cool. Just a sec.
What up?
Not much.
Ray, do you gunpla ever? Or is this a hobby that you've ever dipped your toe into?
Yeah.
Nice.
The only thing is, so far I'm still working on the first one.
Which one did you get?
The beginner one when that first came out. You know, and you brought in those guys from in town.
Oh yeah. Did you get this one? Is it like the entry grade for the 93?
Yeah, I think.
Nice. That's a good one.
Started paying in it, and then after that I've just been busy.
Oh yeah. I get that. I picked up the 78 real grade and made a start on it, and have not had a lot of time to get back into it. And then the time that I have had, I've been spending here working on this behemoth.
Yeah, normally I do World War II.
Oh, nice. Yeah, those kits are cool too. I haven't done a World War II kit in a very long time. It's probably been 7-8 years now.
Oh, it's been longer than that for me.
I think the closest that I've come is I 3D printed a little, it's like a little toy tank for my son, and it has tracks that articulate.
Yeah.
And so that kind of took me back to putting together the. I had like an M1 Abrams, or not an Abrams. Oh, what was it?
Sherman.
Sherman, thank you. That had like I bought like aftermarket tracks that were metal cast that all articulated, and that was a lot of fun, but a bunch of time too.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
Very satisfying effect though.
Yeah, just stick with the rubber.
Yeah.
Now I've done a few Shermans, M4 Shermans.
Nice.
Some Russian tanks, some German tanks.
Very cool.
Half tracks and everything else. Yep.
Let's see.
Definitely
Hmm?
busy. But I'll get back out of here and get back to my dungeon.
No, you're good, man. Okay, yep, I like that a lot more. Go ahead and start getting this closer to a dry fit one more time. And that looks very nice now. Okay. Now we can get these guys cleaned up. There's some major stuff. We already cleaned off the back end, so now that is clean. What's really cool that I didn't notice before is that there's like this gap behind. That's just amazing detail. Okay, let's take a look. This is potentially okay. I might just be able to do a little bit of cleaning here. Just to get that to a good point. This, of course, though, is not okay. That's a whole freaking release. We definitely want that to be cleaned off. Pop that out. One of the tips that I learned that was like really, really handy when it came to scraping and scribing really fine stuff, and this is recently, was to do it kind of as so gently that it wouldn't break a pencil's lead. So if you imagine that you have a pencil, like a mechanical pencil with lead, and you're doing really, really careful scraping, like not to do it so intensely that it would break a pencil's lead, to put it the opposite way. I thought that heuristic was like really, really fantastic. It's still not. You know what? I'm getting a weird feeling about this piece. I probably wouldn't take it off otherwise, but I'm going to go ahead and pop it off. My fingernails are always like my first tool. Ray is a fantastic guy, by the way. He DMs here, and then he also plays Gundam with us on Sundays. Awesome dude. See, there's just something right there that's bothering me. I might be overthinking it, but you know what? I would rather be sure. Did we lose a little bit of a sheet? We did.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, I'm missing a little. I thought I saw it behind the laptop, or maybe around one of the bags. Worst case scenario, if it absolutely can't be found, is I can model and print one.
Sure, we'll be able to locate it. The adhesive on that, I was kind of suspect of it anyway.
Yeah.
There's just, it's a neat panel that goes over something, but underneath where it applies to, there's not a lot of meat for it to grab onto.
Right.
So I was like, These might be problematic.
That's usually with stuff like that I tend to go with cyano.
Oh sure.
Regardless, because it just like adhesive is gonna be an initial stopgap, like it'll get you there, but
Now is that something you want to clean the adhesive before applying the glue?
yeah, you can. It's not like an absolute like requirement, but it's more of like a nice to have.
One of the things I want to do is need to get all the master grade SD kits
Mm-hmm.
and go and give those the full treatment. Those are so cool.
Are those the ones that are like kind of chibi-ish?
SD Gundam. Yeah, I got that version. Yeah. These guys.
Yeah, feel free to pop it in.
A master grade SD. This particular one, of course, being the Freedom. But similar to what we're going to see here today, you got full frame,
Mm-hmm.
but you have to build that on the chibi scale. So we're like I don't know if I'm just like a masochist or punishing. I don't know, but
I mean, how big does the model end up being?
actually not too bad. It ends up being about 8.5 inches, so
So
not
that's
too
still
different from your 1/100
like that.
scale or 1/144 scale.
That's
models.
still a pretty good size, like
Yeah.
altogether.
It's not impossible. It's
No.
just one of those things I like to complain a little bit. I think from as far as like Gundam development goes, the Freedom hits all the notes. It's like
Oh yeah.
it's got a lot of the cues from the RX78 line, and then it ended up with wings, but the pods on its back remind me of the verniers we saw in Wing Gundam.
Mm-hmm.
So both of it and the Tall Geese ran pods similar to that.
Right.
And you're like, as a flight unit, it just looks great.
It does.
And then because it's the Freedom Gundam, this thing of course is covered in guns.
Merca. This goes here.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay.
Sure, there's there's weird people everywhere, but we kind of get an interesting kind of socially awkward that comes through a card store.
Oh yeah. I feel like
Yeah,
that comes with the territory almost.
Yeah. Well, my own social awkwardness doesn't know how to deal with it, so it's like two introverts staring at each other's shoes. Go to help somebody, and they're like, "Hey, how's it going?" They're like, "Oh, I'm just looking." Like, well, tell me what you're looking for so I can point it out to you. Whatever. I'm like, you're obviously not here for whatever.
Right.
So, it's just one of those like, oh well.
Yeah, that's just how some people. Like, I don't want to. I feel like millennials are finally getting to the age where they're just like, oh, these other generations do this stuff. That's peculiar, huh? I've heard that's more of a thing with like Gen Z, Gen A, where they'll just kind of like stare off into the distance, like they won't always respond. Of course, it's a generalization. I've met and I've even worked with some Gen Z, Gen A.
Yeah.
And like they were fantastic, professional, like, but I've also encountered a lot of Gen Z, Gen A where they'll just give you a vacant stare when you ask them a question, like,
I get that from my girl's kids right now. She's, I'll go like, hey. And he's like, what? I'm like, what do you mean, what? Are you literally checked out? Like, so far?
Okay.
What profound thoughts can you have at 11?
Oh, you'd be surprised.
Yeah. I mean, he didn't even know who the Ninja Turtles fought against. He didn't even know that they were other ninjas. Like, come on, man. I know Chuck Norris did a number on them in the 80s, but they're still out there. There you go. That should now be fully cleaned up. There you go.
How much longer are you wanting to go?
I'll need to be hopping off here pretty soon. It might be worth taking a break, but let's see where we're at for the day.
Ooh, I'm glad I popped that off. Today has definitely been more of like a recovery, just kind of like quality control day, which I don't mind at all.
No,
like,
and it kind of shows us where we need to be careful and what, there's a lot to learn.
Oh, 100%.
From this. So as we move forward, ideally we'll be able to head off some of these issues.
Yes.
And spend more time building and less time backtracking.
Well, and like I don't mind a little bit of this. I think it's definitely a normal part of any build process. There's going to be some rewinding and moving back, and so overall I think it's it's tricky because it can feel like we didn't make any progress because we didn't build anything new necessarily. Like we didn't snip
I've been a mechanic, too long to know what progress looks like, and sometimes cleaning assemblies and getting everything ready to go back together is just as important as actually getting it back together.
I 100% agree, and so it's I definitely see today as a positive.
Anytime I get to hang out with my friends, that's all I care about.
Oh yeah.
I like where I'm at now, working my job, but it's definitely still a far cry from being in the store every day.
Oh yeah. I feel like the heart and the passion is here. I mean, I'm sure there's heart and passion for your professional work as well, but to a degree.
No, that's all good. It's one of those things where you're like, I like fixing cars. I could fix cars for a living, and then you get to it and you're like,
this is
now work. I don't get to fix my own cars.
Yeah.
That's a little bit about what happened. Like, we spend a lot of time helping people learn to play D&D and learn to play on all these different things that like when it comes to Gundam, I've talked to you a little bit, I feel like I'm falling behind.
So the TCG? Yeah,
where I was like, I see everybody come in every week and they're just rocking and rolling. I'm like, I'm still playing the same thing from 4 months ago.
Sometimes I still feel behind as well. Like
I think that might be partially the nature of the game, because
I think it's partially the nature
evolving,
of the game,
but it's like,
I think the other piece of it too is just like adult life. Like,
it's
hard. It's trickier to spread your time. Like you can't just do full days on days on days. Just within that particular world or interest, and that's okay. That's it's a part of life for sure. But I think it also depends on like how you want to go about it. Like, I've met some people where like, they play Pokemon on a competitive level. That's all they do, 24/7. Like they get off work and they go to the shop to play games and to play test and try to figure out what deck they're taking to the next regional. Like, I like having a broad variety of interests, and I like doing stuff with people in a social way. Like, and so and I enjoy playing Gundam competitively to some extent, but I'm not like getting primed up to go to the next Games Fest or huge Bandai event. Like, if anything, my goal or aim would be to win a new type, but even that's like if that doesn't happen, I'm not going to be kicking myself. It's more of a I just want to hang out, have fun, and getting some games with my buddies.
Man, the last Sunday, we had one of our friends. You guys all know, if you watch the last stream, Josh, who helped me build last time, he got off work late, and we closed at 9, but he showed up at like 8:45, and so we're like, whatever. And so we played on until 11:30 because he showed up.
Oh, it was a ton of fun.
Man, I was so messed up that Monday for work. They're like, why are you making all these mistakes? I was like, I'm can't brain. Blah, blah.
How do you brain? How do you work?
Pretty much, that was my Monday. But I wouldn't do it any different. It was so much fun.
Yeah. I am doing this the other way around.
The way around of the other is. All right. As a technician, I really appreciate all these gimmicks that they put in here for panels that move and allow you to gain access to other components.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like, if this assembly did require maintenance, you would need to be able to, you know, partially disassemble it without necessarily completely taking it all apart.
Right.
You know, from a field maintenance perspective or whatever, but it's so good.
Yeah. I do really love these little nibs that these clippers leave you
Oh, they're so easy to
because
take.
they're
You just,
so
like,
easy to clean. I'm really interested to see where and how these attach.
So if you think about the outside of the calf,
Yeah, that makes sense.
yeah, that's the vent and things for the boosters. So they should be. I don't know, if I'm looking at these pegs, they may be. Ultimately, I don't know, but they should be somewhere along these
Something
lines.
like this.
Yeah. One of the things that I thought about and I didn't really, understand completely until I was thinking more about the model, but we'll actually get a chance to see the back of the unit.
Mm-hmm.
You don't typically see the RX93 from super close from the back.
Yep.
The action shots just there's better ways to do those action shots.
Oh, yeah.
Check out the backpack.
That's actually one of those things, like either as an artist, but then partially from like a 3D modeling perspective,
Mm-hmm.
where it's like, well, what does this look like? How does it fit together? Like, where's the points of connection and this and that, and they really get into that with these, and it's a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm. It's kind of neat where you can see the technological upgrade. If you look at the back unit for the RX78, it's got 2 jets on it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, this one's got 4.
Yeah.
Plus the cabs.
Yep.
And then I think it's out of the bottom of the foot still. So you're
I
like,
think they had was it the manual or one of the boxes how many pounds of thrust?
I
They
may have been
actually
here in the
provide.
manual, and you're just like, it's astronomical.
Yeah.
You're like,
They're using like helium-3.
yeah.
There's all kinds of what's really interesting, at least in terms of like modern tech to think about, is they're probably like 3D printed titanium.
Oh yeah, and that was the big
some of
thing
the-
about Gundanium. It was some kind of titanium alloy that you could only produce in 0G or low G
Right.
on the moon.
Yep.
So like the specific ore and processes required that environment to be able to get that alloy to make the unit, as tough as it was, but as light as it was to be able to operate.
Mm-hmm.
The original RX78's listed as like 60 tons or something.
Which is crazy.
Yeah, you're like, that's not a lot when you think about
Yeah.
the thing standing 18 meters tall with all of its load out. The RX93, the listing that I was able to find for it was something like 22 tons because
That's
of all the
crazy.
lightweight and crazy sci-fi alloys.
Mm-hmm.
So you're like, maybe not that, but 22 tons and then they put all that thrust on it. Somebody's working out somewhere to be able to resist all those G-forces.
It's fast.
It's fast.
Yeah, isn't that a part of the new typiness as well?
In part, it was definitely one of the advantages Char had. He was much more G resistant, and so he could, take the Zaku, flip all the safeties off,
Yeah.
and go ham on it. And then they built him a special one that went even faster.
Mm-hmm.
So you're like, okay.
Jeez.
The thing that's interesting about it, high G counts, is some car accidents will end up with G's near the 100G,
Mm-hmm.
but you're dealing with that force in such a small moment of time that
Right.
you're if you were talking about constant G forces like a fighter pilot might experience in a maneuver, that's tough.
Yeah.
So
that's a very different ballgame.
like the quick acceleration deceleration G's definitely take a toll, but you're not dealing with 10 G's constant. You're dealing with like bursts of high G a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So definitely still could be problematic, but it's a different problem, I think, from a biology perspective.
Right. Well, the other thing too with G's is that's very interesting is that the person that's controlling the mechanism that's applying the G's is less sensitive to them. So, pilots doing 9, 10 G's, they can stay conscious, but the co-pilot will pass out because they're not the one that's controlling the and so it's like a
right, even if
real,
in training they show the same G tolerance.
yeah, and so it's this really unexpected effect of that, and you add to that the new typey sci-fi-ness, and I'm sure some of the suits have kind of special components that help like flex the muscle and kind of try to keep blood from going all over the place.
Yeah, because even our pilots have flight suits with different pressure bladders and things that help with keeping blood in places and pass out and all that stuff. One of the things I always thought was kind of interesting was the cockpit progression.
Yes.
We end up with something that's very static in the early mobile suits, the Zaku and the RX90, RX73s, 78s. There we go. But later, by the time we get into Char's counterattack, we end up with this sort of spherical, I think they called it the linear seat cockpit configuration.
Mm-hmm.
So you got the sphere that's a 360-degree view, and then the cockpit is static, or the seat is static.
Right.
And I always thought that something along the lines of what we see with the helmet technology of an Apache would have been really applicable to mobile suit technology.
Right. Yeah, what's kind of crazy now, like in some ways the tech makes a lot of sense. Like in other ways it almost feels like retrofuturism in a way, because you think about pilots having like some of the modern tech with something like a Neuralink. Like what happens when a pilot gets a Neuralink? It just kind of like they could just think and the machine behaves. Is this all one piece? How is this
so this is...
That's interesting.
So you're going to have like a little cap on one side, which I think is this side. Under there. Yeah, because it didn't come out as one piece, so you got 3 or 4 pieces here.
It may not need to completely, like it looked good. Overall.
That was one of the things, the introduction of the Saikamu systems.
Right, those are those are getting into that concept a little bit. Hey, there we go.
Yeah. But some other sci-fi universes deal with that concept too. Particularly Armored Core is what made those pilots and machines so insane.
Oh, right.
But it's what we see later. Lala in her specialized mobile suit, and then we see more and more where like the Gundams are spoken about as being alive, or they have a will of their own.
Right.
And we get these things, you're like, maybe we shouldn't plug ourselves into the giant combat robot. It was already pretty impressive before we did all this. Particularly when you consider what highly skilled pilots were able to do in something like the Zaku 2
Oh yeah.
in the early parts of the 1 Year War. It was a technology that changed the battlefield. And then you watch like the Black Tri-Stars.
Yeah.
Were absolutely dominant on the battlefield until new type showed up.
Yep. Yeah, the new type phenomena really messed with everything. And then on top of that, Gundams, because weren't the Gundams there was a lot of like the materials, of course, and like the
RX
blaster that they had. Like,
well,
but then there was also the software technology that was
right, and then it was basically a combat AI learning computer that learned to anticipate, and it got better the more it went out into the field. And then, of course, in the hands of Amuro, he got better as it got. And then it started. You mentioned this earlier. Then it started to learn to anticipate new type.
Yes, I think that's what started to happen, at least.
Yeah, and later on, as we start to reach the limits of what that machine can do, particularly when you compare the RX-78 in the assault on Abo Q, was definitely like high end, high level, very effective. But then we had a Saikamu equipped the Zeong. It was like only 80% complete, so it wasn't even fully built, and it was way bigger problem on the battlefield.
Oh yeah.
And ultimately, it was one of the things that gave Char the edge there in that last fight, from a machine-to-machine performance standpoint. And then we see it later with the Kshatriya, in particular, the opening scene where they go and she just wipes out the Jagan.
Yep.
Like laser beams things into oblivion.
Now, I'm trying to remember, is the NTD, like, I know it's Psychoframe, but is it akin to, like, a Psychomu?
Not exactly.
They...
I think what they were doing was just, like, going to an extreme with the Psychoframe technology and trying to... they weren't trying to get the resonance, like what we saw at the end of Char's counterattack.
Right.
But they were definitely playing around with that concept where... the machine could override the pilot, and so the NTD stands for New Type Destroy.
Right.
And it was basically an anti-New Type machine.
Yes.
That had a New Type pilot.
But,
and we see early on, like, Banagher gets overwhelmed by it. Not too dissimilar from, like, Zero System and stuff later, so it's a concept we see, throughout Gundam with some of this technology. But, it was definitely a software thing, and they use, the Psychoframe was meant to then, like, kind of, the mobile suit becomes an extension of the pilot at that point. It was part of why it had such enhanced performance. So, unlike where we see bits or the fin funnels and those sorts of things as an auxiliary weapon that was psychometrically controlled.
Right.
I think with the Psychoframe, particularly in the Unicorn, when it goes into destroy mode or awoken, it's becomes fully connected with the pilot, and then through the New Type phenomenon, really the pilot's emotions. As they
But then it also kind of takes on its own personality, and you see that with the like the Neo Zeon mobile armor in that one scene.
Oh yeah, it's
like, I'm trying to remember if that's just Psychomu or if that mobile armor also has Psychoframe.
Those were side effects of the Psychomu systems, depending on what, because like we saw with the RX-78, they had an AI system that was responsible for controlling major aspects of the machine to be able to anticipate the pilot. So it may not be something that you can have a conversation with, but it definitely had a purpose, and it was doing a lot of work. So now you connect yourself to it through the Psychomu system, and you get the Deus Ex Machina a little bit with the voice of the machine and its own willpower, and you have to be able to you're either in sync with the machine, or you have to overcome the machine, or it overcomes you.
Yeah.
So it's really kind of one of those things we've seen even in fantasy, where the high power objects either got a will of its own, or the power that it possesses is so dangerous that it can consume you.
Right.
One Ring styles, but it is always interesting to see that, because we get a lot of it in Wing Gundam, where I feel like it's not just personification, but where the pilots are when they're talking to their Gundams, that they're really talking to the Gundams.
Yeah.
And we get that a lot too in G-Quux, where the Red Gundam is talking to Shuji, and it seems to be expressing a will of its own.
Right. Well, and this is where I think it takes like the idea of like machine learning to an extreme, where like if these things are adaptive and they're learning and they continue to grow or learn, over like years and decades, like at what point do they start to have like a ghost in the machine, like something that actually has like something analogous to a personality, or it's making its own decisions, it's persistent, it's embodied. Like
Gundam has been interesting because of the way their story themes. Unlike a lot of sci-fi where a machine might awaken as that its AI may become something that can actually take control of the machine. Right now, now the Gundam is its own thing, and maybe it rejects a pilot. Those machines will always require a pilot because the stories ultimately are always about war and the human cost. And I think when you get into the machines sort of overcoming the pilot, you start to look at people.
I found it.
People that just get like overtaken by the battle.
Yes.
Whether we're talking about like a battle fervor or the bleakness that you can encounter in impossible situations. It's really kind of interesting. And that's one of the things that's always made Gundam really interesting, is that they go beyond just, hey, here's a robot with a laser gun.
Right. Is this right? Is this... Okay, yeah, it flexes up into it. Okay.
Yeah. Because what you're dealing with is this whole...
Yeah, I thought I was, like, going crazy there for a second. This is the last piece that needs cleaned up, so I'll get this. Just do a good point, and...
Yeah, we'll be ready to move on for the next one. But I think that's one of the things that's interesting about the RX93 is Anaheim got Psychoframe technology from a mysterious benefactor that we later learned was Char.
Mm-hmm.
And Char wanted to make sure that Anaheim got it because they knew, realistically, he knew Amuro would get it.
Yeah.
And he knew he was about to do some stuff and needed to make sure that if he was going to meet his rival, he was in a worthy machine. He didn't want him in something subpar, so that he could then, he would doubt that his victory, if he had won, was because of his own ability or because he didn't allow, he didn't meet his rival on equal terms.
Mm-hmm.
Char as a character is superly complex that way, but
he's very interesting.
From a machine standpoint, you go, like, it kind of represents the hope of Char that he's wrong.
Almost, yeah.
You're like, if I'm wrong, I need somebody to be able to stop me. But he was at that point in his life when we find him, he was very much fervent in his beliefs when he had taken leadership of Neo Zeon.
Well, there had been enough back and forth over the years as well, and he had tried to.
Right,
tried going to the other side, and the more like leading on that side, but then it just seems like that got rejected, and the
he was faced with
Earth Federation just kind of went back to his complacent,
right.
normal.
The impossibility of the machine, even so, we see like major revelations in Unicorn, only to come back to Hathaway and find that nothing else was really come from it.
Right.
And you're like, well, why is Hathaway disillusioned? You're like, kind of feels like what happened to Char.
Yeah, I mean, Char was too, but it makes sense why he was, where it's like, and it's so tricky. I mean, I think that there's a lot of parallels to a lot of things that we experience today, where, and I had similar frustrations, but the something that's interesting. I listened to this just absolutely incredible woman. Her name's Sarah Payne,
mm-hmm.
and she taught at the Naval War College, and she kind of goes over, her specialty is in Russian and Chinese communism, and so she learned a lot about Japan and the history of World War II and what led to them and kind of what happened after.
Right, because there's a lot of social pressures that were at play too in
Yeah.
those countries. So
And really what you like, kind of the final ethoses that she shares are that slow moving, like, democratic institutions actually are how you end up with the best outcomes, because they just don't change very quickly, and so it becomes easier to course correct. And what sucks is the course correction is slower.
right.
And so I think that the Earth Federation maybe had gone a little bit beyond that, and I think that's what's maybe hard about both systems.
It felt like it had become pretty autocratic, which
And
is
then,
a
yeah, it also
breakdown from
falls
their,
into that. And
Yeah.
you see a lot of that in Origins. Like, watching Origins really contextualizes a lot more about Char, I think. But I think that's the danger with any, like, republic or any democracy as well, is that it wants to. I'm trying to remember. It was some Greek that it seemed like pointed that out, where any democracy or republic tends to lead back into autocracy, or
yeah.
you
It gets to a point where it needs to be administrated, and then it gets so big it administrates itself, and then you're like, how do you
then
fix
it becomes
it?
chaos, because nothing can organize something that broad
Yeah.
and complex. And
But and that's kind of where I was talking about, like, so Char gets to a point where he makes sure that this machine exists, to I guess as the counter to what he's up to, and you just go like, I'm either right or I'm wrong, but I'll never know which one if I can't be met on equal footing.
yeah,
And so aside from this being a new type machine, with tons of cool technology, developed in the universe with a lot of input from Amuro, you can't forget that Char had quite a bit of a role in its development too.
right.
And you're like, it's pretty crazy.
It'd be really interesting to, like, watch back through that series with that in mind. That, like, I think it comes back to that idea that it gets joked around about a lot, where he's like, I've never betrayed anyone, and
Right.
like, it's funny in a way, because you're like, what are you talking about? But I think that he likes to set up situations like that for himself, where he really truly believes that he isn't. And I wonder if a part of it's that he tries to set himself up on equal footing with
Right, because it's not
who
really
he's an opponent with. So to him internally, it doesn't feel like a betrayal, because
he didn't do anything underhanded or
he didn't do. Yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
And the people that Garma had overwhelmingly the advantage, but Char also knew that the white base team was peculiar in their ability to succeed.
Right.
And so, that situation got set up, and then, when Garma calls for help, he's like, "Yeah, sorry, bro."
Yeah.
But that was a situation that he set up. When it comes to the other people he takes out, like, he goes and he personally waves and then fires the rocket launcher through the cockpit of the ship and takes out Cilia. And she is the one who shot her brother.
Oh yeah.
So, like, a lot. One of those things too, I think, like, betrayal has the sort of feeling of something that's undeserved.
Or, like, they've intentionally deceived you into being somebody that they think is an ally or a friend.
Because before he goes and KOs Cilia, he's kind of on board, and then he sees that she's gonna abandon everybody to die, and he goes, "Oh, never mind."
Yep.
So it's really interesting. I could definitely, from Char's perspective, see that being as a true statement where he's never betrayed anybody.
Let's see, is it this way or this way? I think it's it's this way. Just making sure, because I don't want to put it on the wrong way. Okay. Yep. And I think this is one of the later pieces, at least. I haven't cleaned that one yet.
Oh,
If you just want to give it a once over.
certainly. So I can pop it back out of here. But there it goes. Ah, yep. One thing that's kind of undeniable about Char though is he is, oh man, 100% like charisma, aura, all of it, all the time. What's funny is like, I don't think he really has any idea how to handle it sometimes. Particularly as new types become more common, like the issue with Kess, and he's like, "What's going on?" And Amuro had a hard time with Kess in particular too. He's like, "I couldn't be the father figure that she wanted."
Yeah.
And he's like, "Yeah, he had no idea how to deal with this like attached doty."
No.
He's like, "Okay, I guess." Go fly a mobile suit. That's what I tell everybody to do. Like, just get to the cockpit, figure it out. You know. Kind of see that really from through a lot of like Universal Century Gundam, where the youth that are sort of awakening as new types, no one's got much of an idea what's going on because it's still a fairly new phenomenon. Like in Zeta, right? I think we have 5 or 6 characters awaken as new types in the midst of the battle, which is very chaotic. Like Rakoka leaves the AUG to go to the Titans and all this stuff, but it's you know, it always been a theory suggested by Zeon Daikun. Yeah, and then you know, Amuro got put on ice because the Federation was kind of worried about.
Yeah, we don't know what to do with you.
Yeah. So, you know, I think for the most part, people ignored it. And so it was either one of those things where, you know, I thought I heard about that in a speech once, and then some guy that got killed, right?
Yeah.
Or it's like, you know, the in-universe lore explanation for it, I think it just got associated with someone who was an ace pilot.
Yes. Yeah.
And so you're like, yeah, I'm a new type. You're like, I'm a really good pilot. You're like, no, you're like experiencing an awakening in a sort of like precognition, extra cognition. You know,
like this isn't normal.
Yeah, I mean it's gonna be your new normal, but this isn't anything anybody's prepared for. So yeah, you know, like, by the time we get to Char's counterattack, and then a little later where we're getting into Unicorn, that phenomenon's a little better understood, but the people that know about it, of course, have been doing cyber new type research for a while now, and then everybody else is still kind of left in the dark on it.
Yes, well, and intentionally.
Yes. At that point, it was.
What you find out. We won't give huge spoilers, but
yeah. But again, that's that Earth Federation thing. Very neat. Yeah, and if you thought the RX93 was crazy, RX0, like, who the hell thought that was a great idea?
Which one is that?
That's the Unicorn.
Oh, yeah.
You're like, that thing is just... and of course, right, if you're going to spend the money to build one, you have to build a second, scarier one.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, why not prototype multiple?
Yeah, it makes sense, but like when the Banshee shows up, you're like, what the heck is that? Because there's all the secrecy around the Unicorn and its testing and so on and so forth. We see some of that in conversations. And then the Banshee shows up, and you're like, who the heck asked for that? Welcome, brother.
What up, dude?
What are we doing?
I just want to split this.
Oh, yeah, I can help you. Sorry. Oh.
Are you putting this together?
Yeah.
It's that
Yeah, I think this is just a little bit long, and that's part of why it's. Oop. Oh, that's interesting. It's just solid plastic. Okay. I did just a little bit of a correction on the. I looked at this a little closer and figured out that's part of why it popped off.
Was it not in the channel
So
fully?
there was too much of it, and so it was coming out, and so I trimmed it down. And
What's neat about it, they had an actual like scale here in the book, which is cool. I'm not far enough in there yet. So many PC parts.
Yeah, does
Right
this
here.
go on here?
It will. Yeah, so they gave you a scale.
Oh,
and you like
that's
trim
really
that,
cool.
and you're like, oh, that's handy.
Yeah,
They're like-
that's super handy. Does this? Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah. I don't know why we would leave it separate yet, but unless
Yeah,
we want to
it's
like
not
add
hard to
armor
take-
panels or whatever. But like, yeah,
Take
that's
off either.
that's where that goes.
It's interesting that it only inserts like one way though.
Yeah, I guess that's probably to keep the range of motion sort of semi-natural.
Yeah. Just incredible. And then of course the joint here.
Yeah. What I thought was really kind of interesting was that this is not too dissimilar from the joints we'd find even in their 1/144th scale models.
Mm-hmm. Yep, very similar. I wonder if these, like how these will go, because this is obviously the knee.
Yeah, there's going to be another part to build in behind this to attach, but
Yeah. That's the calf.
yeah, and then they have us build the foot, which has its own. So then we're getting into. So that's like we're already attached there. So we need to come back and
Okay, it looks like there's just some really large,
yeah.
large
Okay.
plates.
There's. All right, we don't have the sprues out, but yeah, I've seen those out.
And there's
in there.
more of
And then,
this.
yeah, so
That's
that'll
gonna be
attach.
so cool.
So,
This is all next time for sure. I feel like next time, like, we'll probably get through the next chunk of the legs. Like,
yeah.
now that, like, we have more of a process down
hmm
and, like, we're getting used to the level of detail that this needs.
That is one of the things that's interesting. Is
Do you feel like all of this made a difference, though?
Oh,
Like,
100%.
I know we've spent the last, like, 3-ish
yeah.
hours essentially just, like, breaking things down, cleaning it, putting it
But-
back together, but it feels crisp now.
I wish I had a camera that would show it off a little bit better, but like to see the difference, it's like we were talking about much earlier, that the spirit of the thing, you can really tell when something is done well, and these definitely have that that extra sort of gleam to them.
Mhm.
They're really neat.
Yeah, I'm very happy with how the day went. Like, I would man, especially with something like you know, I was looking at something where it was like the master grades, at least in Japan, they're almost kind of seen as like kids' toys.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, okay, technically
'cause
the
they're-
master grades
they're like
they're mid grade.
$15-$20, like, you know,
Okay.
so it's not too dissimilar just from, and so, you know, they'll get them and put them together with their kiddo and just let them run around and crash them and, you know,
Right.
have
You're
fun.
like, ha, ha, ha.
Where it's like, as soon as you get into like real grade and then into this, like this is like a piece of art.
The
Like this
true
is gorgeous.
hobbyists.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's differentiated, like. I think the only thing that would be cool is if there was a little bit of a ball socket for this, so the vernier could.
Yeah.
Like, I guess some of the articulation there though is just from the legs,
right.
which makes sense. But like, it seems like it would have its own. Usually, verniers have their own gimbals.
Yeah, and that I thought it was interesting that there may have just been like the understanding of the rocket technology at the time, because we've seen some pretty wild variable thrust designs come up on current gen and next gen fighters, where you're literally the thing's standing up and going forward.
Oh yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I'm thinking less of that and more of like like on a rocket, you know, which I think
Right.
these are probably a little bit closer to.
Sir,
You got the Wi-Fi?
I do.
May I use it?
Ah, that's the question.
Ah.
Yeah, let me grab it for you, man.
But anyways, you wanna wrap it up for today?
Yeah, we've got where we wanted to go. We've got a lot of cleanup done. Big thanks to Josh, who helped with the initial assembly.
Oh yeah,
Really getting us to where we want to go.
you guys
Hopefully
did
he'll
an
be back.
amazing job. Yeah,
And
I would
then-
love for him to come back just so that I can get into some of these techniques with him, because like,
He hadn't built before, and so he really
I kind
got
of
into it.
I kind
you
of want
know?
to get the guy like a you know, like his own like entry grade or, you know,
He-
master grade, just so that he can.
He's a Barbados fan,
Yeah,
so
that'll be a ton of fun.
my dad is a Mikazuki fan, but that's because Mika shoots people with guns. bit wild there at the beginning episodes.
The whole series, really.
Yeah, he doesn't stop.
No. Everybody's got to have a hobby, I guess.
Yeah. Not much to do on Mars. Not for child soldiers, at least, I guess. Cool.
Cool.
Well, give me a sec. I guess. So this is Boris from Griffin's Keep, and I want to be a GM. I was hanging out here today with,
Anthony from Pirate Monkey Painting.
and this has been our second video here, detailing the assembly of the RX93 Perfect Grade Unleashed new Gundam, celebrating the 45th anniversary of Gunpla. And we hope that you join us for the next one and have been having a good time watching us as we assemble this absolutely incredible kit.
Oh yeah.
So, until then, we look forward. We're trying to do these on Thursdays, so keep an eye out.
Yep, that is the plan.
So, until next time, everybody. Bye.